Chapter 81, Dingming. For recommended collection, brothers give some strength, close black lens bracket. Many people who were walking around saw one by one that their eyes had to be protruding, and the saliva had flowed unconsciously from the corner of their mouths. I don't know how many people's stomachs were tweeting, which completely caused everyone's appetite. I watched Yi Tianxing's action of eating delicious food, and I wished he was the one sitting there to eat. The juice is broad and strong, the color is ruddy, the softness and tenderness is mellow, and the bright oil is bright, and the taste contained in each meat is exactly the same. All the tastes have been evenly incorporated into the palm of the fish. This is the real food. Quote. After eating Yi Tianxing, he couldn't help closing his eyes and uttering admiration. The metamorphosis in the maggot continued. Ding. The massive amount of heaven and earth vitality is continuously integrated into the body, entering the flesh and blood, and the body naturally grows into a long body. Every breath, you can feel the growth of the flesh and the body, and the strength is increasing madly. Unconsciously, it reached a force of tens of thousands of pounds. Suddenly, as the strength reached 1,000 pounds, a phantom baoding suddenly appeared in the body. As soon as this mouthful of baoding condensed, it gave out a crisp dingming. Dingming trembled and shuttled between flesh and blood. The whole body, as if in dingming, was washed, flesh and bones, all shaking. In baoding, a powerful power is transmitted. The tadpole is connected to the whole flesh and blood shell. As if that huge force, all condensed in this mouthful of baoding. As long as the mind is moving, endless power can burst out, even a stone can be directly rubbed into powder with the palm of the meat. The film on the body shows a faint layer of precious light. Even if the general sword falls on the body, it is difficult to puncture the defense of the skin. There is an extraordinary degree of toughness in the skin of the skin. The mouthful of this tripod is white. The appearance of Wu Baoding filled the body with the power of flesh and blood, as if there was a destination at once, completely condensed in baoding. Baoding is illusory and can be hidden in flesh and blood. It is integrated with the flesh. White baoding, baoding's blockbuster. Only with the strength of 10,000 pounds did baoding bring baoding's first blast. My own body has good potential, and the foundation is very strong. There should be food cells. The reason is, otherwise, under normal circumstances, when the ordinary practitioners have a physical strength of 5 kilograms, they can condense baoding and reach a blockbuster. Quote. The symbol of the puppet trainer is that his body is so strong that he gathers up blood and blood. This is the tripod that the true physical blood gathers. The stronger the physical strength, the more natural the vitality and blood in the body. Qi and blood reach an extreme, a qi and blood baoding will condense, because the qi and blood in the physical body will continue to grow, and the entire body will be unable to bear it. The pour is the same, and the general is the change. This transformation is to condense the qi and blood baoding, to accommodate the vigorous qi and blood in the body. Qi and blood are power. Zhu Lianxi divided into Juding. It's about baoding, which is condensed by qi and blood. The first bit of baoding is white. Known as Baiding, Baiding corresponds to Shanghai Jingqi Shi. Baiding's fame is the weight of Shanghai. But apparently, Yi Tianxing's flesh body strength can absolutely crush any monk in the Shanghai realm. The Shanghai state is so heavy that it can withstand thousands of pounds of flesh, physical strength. Once it collides, it is completely crushed. Even when the normal cultivator Baiding Yiming, the strength of 5,000 pounds can crush most of the heavy monks in Shanghai. Not to mention the strength of the genius for refining, it will never stop at 5 kilos. This is the hegemony of the cultivator. Moreover, this blood and blood treasure tripod is also a tripod for the body-bodied magician. He took a deep breath, and with a moment of thought, most of the qi and blood in the body converged into the mouth of the tripod, and naturally merged into the flesh and blood, hidden. Only Yi Tianxing knew where it was. Can appear anywhere on the body. No one can spy. If the deep-seated practitioners are not revealed, they are just like ordinary people. They cannot detect the blood and blood from the outside, and their ability to hide is absolutely second to none. These are only over in just a few breaths, and what happened is in Yi Tianxing's body. No one except him knows it. No one could think of it. Under this meal, he silently stepped into the threshold of the practitioner, and truly became a practitioner, and he gathered the blood and blood. This is definitely a whole card that can be placed on the bottom of the box. Lai He, your cooking skills are really amazing. This is the most delicious food I have ever eaten. Thank you for your food. Yi Tianxing looked at Lai He, a smile appeared on his face, and nodded and smiled. Keep Lai He's figure in mind. Don't worry, we are trading. I use my cooking skills in exchange for food to fill my stomach. This is a transaction you like. Besides, no chef will refuse to cook a delicious food with such top-quality ingredients. Lie, he said without hesitation. I'll tell you the truth, you let me eat a truly delicious meal and get the ultimate taste enjoyment. The remaining crocodile meat is yours. You can make broth or other things. None of it has anything to do with me. This is an equivalent transaction. There is no pie from the sky in this world. People depend on themselves. Learn how to survive. Quote. Qi Tianxing said with a smile, but at the end it was a little bit young, although there are a large number of human people in this Yangjia village. But it seems that from the beginning, it was well protected by Yang Jiazhen, making these people lack a kind of grind of blood and death, or in other words, this grind is too little, and the bloodiness contained in their bodies has not been fully inspired. I only know to accept the protection of others, but I don't realize that I need to work hard, work for survival, or even fight. He Lai heard that his face was slightly straightened, and then there was a hint of understanding in his heart. Secretly nodded, looking at Yi Tianxing's eyes became different. These words contain the most straightforward truth. If you dare to fight, you can eat meat and fill your stomach. Just like Yi Tianxing, this crocodile was hunted by his own hands and obtained by his own strength. Then this prey is controlled by him. No one has the right to dye his fingers. Therefore, just now he can eat enough, others only can watch, but can't make any accusations, and is not qualified to blame. If in modern times, many people may say that this is selfish, this is an unethical behavior. But here, no one said so. For the ancients, filling the stomach is the most important thing. Food is the most important thing. I'm honest, now that Yi Tianxing can leave the rest of the meat to them, many people are already grateful. This is a very noble character. This is called Ren Sha in the hearts of many people. Ting Dao. After hearing this, many people also have different thoughts in their hearts and secretly make decisions that they could not make. Alas, filling the stomach is the key now. Immediately, people started to set up large cauldrons, poured water, and put pieces of meat and bones in the pot. Set on fire and start to burn, this is to make a broth. There are too many people, and everyone else can't eat enough. Since you can't eat enough, drinking a bowl of hot broth can also maintain your body's consumption and give your body more strength. Everyone can drink last bite hot. General Yang, Mayor Yang, you are here, General Yang. When many people were boiled in broth, I suddenly heard a shout, with a touch of respect and a touch of respect. The road is divided among the crowd. Yi Yishanxing looked at it, only to see that a middle-aged man, wearing armor, came step by step, with a very strong majesty on his body, which was a kind of majesty raised by the general in charge of the army. And only by winning the battle often can we have such a strong attitude. The appearance of is similar to Yang Yanping's 3 points, adding a few points of time. Long beard, sharp eyes. As he walked along. This is the momentum that can be settled by those with a firm conviction. I'm Yang Yi, Yanping's father, Yi Zhuangxi, can you take a step to speak? The middle-aged man came to Yi Tianxing, glanced at his eyes, and then expressed his approval. Of course you can. Yi Tianxing nodded his head and agreed without hesitation. The two did not hesitate. In the eyes of many people, they came to a cheap place. You reading book www.uakashu.com. I don't know if I should call you Yi Zhuangxi, or call you Yi Village Chief. The middle-aged man looked at Yi Tianxing meaningfully and said, although the words are not very firm, there are already 3 or 4 points of affirmation, saying, when coming into the new world, Yang also heard the voice of heaven from the void. A Xuanwang village. Quote. I reported my real name when I entered the village. I did not intend to conceal my identity. Xuanwang village was indeed established by me. Yi Tianxing said with a smile, without concealing anything. This point, before the original name was reported, there is no plan to hide. Yang Ye heard, secretly in his heart. Sure enough, it is really the first stranger to build a village. I want to say how Yang Yi came. It turned out that after Yang Yanping returned, news about outsiders in the village had also fallen into Yang Yi's ears. His control of the army had long been unparalleled in prestige. The entire Yang Jiazhen was the founder. Nothing can be hidden from him in this village, and Yi Tianxing still made such a big movement in the village and ate a crocodile feast. I also made food that glowed. This kind of movement is difficult for him to know. After asking Yang Yanping, I learned the name of Yi Tianxing, and the voice of the sky he heard suddenly appeared in his mind. Subconscious association. Of course, this is not very certain, it can only be said to be speculation. After all, between heaven and earth, the same name and the same surname do not know how many. Not necessarily the same person. I came across Yi Tianxing's first glance, but he was very impressed. He asked this subconsciously. You reading readers are welcome to come and read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are in UU Reading. Mobile users please read. Chapter 82, Yang Yi. I didn't expect Yi Tianxing to really answer, and still, such a positive answer. However, Yang Yi did not fully believe that if Yi Tianxing had some concealment, he would think so, but now he is so straightforward to say his identity, which makes him hesitant and unsure. After all, the previous Tianyan spread throughout the quartet, and there are not a few who know Yi Tianxing's name. I really want someone to pretend. When there is no way to exchange information, there is simply no way to distinguish. So when Yi Tianxing confessed, he became somewhat skeptical. The head of Yi village is not in his own village, why did he suddenly come to Yang's village of Yang? Is there any change in Xuanwang village of the head of Yi village? Yang Yi looked directly at Yi Tianxing, and seemed to want to see from his face. What's going on? My Xuanwang village is also in this valley. It's on the other end of the jungle, you can reach it through the jungle. This time, I actually wanted to take a rough look at the situation in the valley. I didn't expect to wear it. After going through the jungle, I found the Yang family that was established by General Yang. This is where we come in. After all, they are all human races. In today's world, it is a blessing to meet similar people. Quote. Qi Yishanxing said without hesitation. Indeed, in this eternal world, all human beings have been scattered in various regions. This world is too big to be calculated, and there is no way to estimate it. But it is certain that there are many humans, but the number of monsters and other races combined is more than that of humans. It is a joy to meet the same human villages nearby. Shengkun, the common problem facing every village is survival. Your Xuanwang village is really nearby, in the same valley as my Yangjia village. Then how could you suddenly leave the village? Don't you be afraid that those beasts and monsters will break through your village and slaughter your villagers. Quote. Even if she was prepared, she was still shocked by the information revealed in Yi Tianxing's words, but then she felt that this behavior of leaving the village was completely an irresponsible act. A subtle disappointment was born in my heart. He set up this Yangjia village, which was desperate to stop the invasion of fierce beasts day and night. To this end, he shed blood and buried his bones in the wilderness. There was no complaint in the entire Yang family. I'm afraid it's not done well. As a village head, Yi Tianxing was so irresponsible to walk outside at will. The various infrastructures and fortifications in my Xuanwang village have been properly constructed. Even if there are fierce beasts attacking, it cannot be easily broken. Once in danger, it will naturally ignite the wolf smoke. Near here, I can use the fastest degree returns. With my Xuanwang village's strength, it cannot be broken in a short time. Yi Tianxing said confidently. The whole Xuanwang village is cultivated by the whole people, and most of them have cultivated themselves. Usually a villager, in danger, they can also fight. Even women, after training, can surpass ordinary strong men. If there is a crisis, women will be able to fight the enemy. The whole people are not kidding. This is the benefit of nationwide cultivation. So it is. Qi Yangye heard that this was a slight relief, and there was a slight change in his view of Yi Tianxing. There was also a hint of curiosity in Xuanwang village. His Yangjia village is now in dire straits, and the villagers can't even eat a full meal, but Xuanwang village can resist the monsters and can build a variety of fortifications. Even Yi Tianxing, the village chief, the leader, being able to leave at will is simply unthinkable. I don't know what the village leader Yi thinks of Yang's Yangjia village. Yang Yi turned his voice and asked. Tong Tong is also the village head. He also wants to know what his village is like in Yi Tianxingko. The truth is still false. Yi Tianxing said with a sudden smile. I am a soldier and a general. I hate hypocrisy the most. Naturally I want to hear the truth. Yang Yi frowned slightly. Shen Sheng said. Soldiers, especially his character, hate the kind of tortuous things. Things in the army must not be allowed to be false or water. Otherwise, he could not bring out such a Yang family. Well, Yu Yangjia village, as a village, might as well be a refugee camp. A large group of people are gathered together, not eating enough, wearing warm clothes, and being frightened. These are not counted, even the spirit and energy are so low, there is no spirit to fight for survival. The face is blank, and my heart is desperate. I don't have much hope for the future. Without hope, people are no different from the walking dead. Their situation is to wait for death. Such an atmosphere, such a villager, such village. Yangjia village, not far from destruction. Quote. People don't take themselves for granted. Ji Yishanxing said word by word that he did not care about Yang Yi's face. The whole village is said to be useless, the next moment it will be destroyed, everyone will die, and the bones will be buried in the wilderness. What do you mean? Yang Yi's face changed, looking at Yi Tianxing. If you don't even work for yourself, don't strive for survival, and survive desperately, nature should die out. In ancient times, human beings were just born, facing countless fierce beasts and various disasters, but no one gave up. If you want to live, everyone is fighting for survival, and no one has given up. Therefore, the sky is healthy, the gentleman is constantly striving for self-improvement. Yuyang family army cannot protect these people. Quote. Qi Yishanxing said politely, he is not self-defeating for his own sake. It was originally a very selfish saying, but in his mouth, the meaning was directly misinterpreted, and it became another meaning. Yi Yangye heard, but his face changed for a while. The eyes glanced at the people in the village. Qi Yishanxing is right, the people here are really no different from refugees. Not even a decent residence. Many people's faces were decadent, which made him unable to refute. I could not help but give birth to a trace of shame. Alas, alas! At this moment, I only heard that a sound of a military horn sounded and echoed in the village. General, the wolves are here again. A soldier ran quickly, saw Yang Yi, and shouted. Leave, we will pass immediately. Yang Yi heard, his face changed, and looked away from Yi Tianxing, striding towards the village door. Sound the horn, and that's the worst thing. I watched Yang Yi and they left quickly. In the village where the broth was boiled, everyone's face changed greatly, and some people were already pale and papery, and their eyes were a bit dull. It's over, here again, the beast monster started to attack the village again. What should we do? The last time a giant wolf rushed into the village, but I saw that several people were directly killed and torn to pieces, that picture, horrible. The wolves are just a bunch of monsters. They are bigger than people, and the mouth full of fangs, their hearts are shaking. I don't know if General Yang can stop those wolves. These days, Yang's army has suffered heavy casualties in front of the wolves. Even if it is a war death, none of the corpses is complete. It is too miserable. If the Yang family can't stop it, then what will we do? Everyone will die. Someone made a noise, and his voice was despairing. The sounds were shaking. The fear of wolves has penetrated deep into the bones. Of course, some of these people are not afraid, and they are eager to move, showing the color of Zheng Ning, and they have the idea of fighting with the wolves, but they lack the courage. The thoughts flow in my head, but it doesn't burst out. Death is imminent and I don't know about self-rescue. This idea was wrong at the beginning. In this troubled world, we can't have much reliance at the beginning. Let them strengthen themselves so that the village can become stronger. Even if some people die because of this, they can sharpen the bleeding. The kindness of Yang Jiazhen created the weakness of the villagers. Yi Tianxing heard, shaking his head slightly. There are nearly tens of thousands of people here. I really want everyone not to be afraid of death, and everyone dares to work hard. Even ghosts and gods are afraid. When a man breaks out, all wolves will be placed on the table as food. I don't think much about these ordinary people. I turned and walked towards the village door. Satiate and drink enough, you can move your bones and muscles. I want to see what wolves can push Yang Jiazhen to this extent. Yi Tianxing murmured secretly in his heart. Without hesitating, I stepped towards the village door step by step. Every step is extremely calm and firm. By the village, www.novelhall.com, you can see that a famous soldier looked dignifiedly outside, holding the weapon in his hand. That weapon, in their hearts, was the guarantee of their own security. Their will is also very firm. Ordinary soldiers, I am afraid that the six gods are scared. This is the will of the elite army. Even if he knew he was going to die, under the military order, he would kill without hesitation. All good soldiers. Seeing Yi Tianxing, he couldn't help showing his approval. Such soldiers are rare and elite. The strength and weakness of an army depends on their spirit. Their will is so firm because they have faith and army soul, and their spiritual pillar is Yang Yi, the founder of Yang Jiazhen. With the spear in hand, the archers came to open the long bow, and the arrows were facing outward. Yang Yi was armed with a long gun and stood quietly at the entrance of the village. Behind him, he saw that Yang Yanping was also wearing an armor standing on the left and on the right, a handsome young man wearing a battle armor. Holding two large knives in his hand, they were thick-backed knives, with long blades and adult height. They were carried in the hands, savage, and light as if they had no weight. Pure eyes. At first glance, I know that there aren't too many people who care too much. The two fighting knives should each weigh tens of pounds. This kind of weight can be taken lightly, with amazing strength and strong blood. This is a natural power. Among the 7 sons of Yang Yi, the second son, Yang Yanding, has natural power. The power is infinite, this one should be Yang Yanding. Quote. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed, and an idea popped up in his heart. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are all in. www.novelhall.com. Mobile users to reading. Chapter 83. Howling Silver Wolf. According to historical records, Yang Yi founded Yang Jiazhen, and he can be said to have contributed countless hours to the Song dynasty. There are 7 sons underneath, each of them is a lieutenant general, and he follows the old man to hire the battlefield. Each has the talent of a general. Each has its own characteristics. The most outstanding and talented one is undoubtedly the second son Yang Yanding. Talent is very powerful, born with divine power, infinite power. And pure and upright temperament, as long as you cultivate well and grow up, it is definitely a tough general who is invincible. Shang the tyrant Shang Yu of the year, Li Yuanba of the Tang dynasty, and so on, all are born with divine power and endless power. Can be a 100 peerless tyrant. Yang Yanding also has the same natural divine power. Although the natural divine power is also high or low, but one's physical constitution and talents are far beyond ordinary people, and have the ultimate potential to become a top general. Qualifications are extraordinary. The blood is huge, and he has a muscular bones. Yi Yixing nodded secretly, mumbling to himself. Brother Yi, you're here too. Yang Yanping saw Yi Tianxing's arrival, a touch of mildness appeared on his face, and he greeted him. Well, I heard the trumpet sound, knowing that there are fierce beasts gathering outside, ready to attack the village, so come and see. Yi Tianxing said, nodding. Brother Yi, this is my second brother, Yang Yanding. Second brother, this is Yi brother, Yi Tianxing. Yang Yanping started to introduce immediately. For Yi Tianxing's extreme friendliness, Yang Yi did not directly tell Yi Tianxing's identity. This is too late. However, there was nothing to stop them from associating with Yi Tianxing. Instead, they had a happy attitude. For Yi Tianxing, although it was only the first time he met, he could talk about it in front of him without any fear of fright. Moreover, his momentum was unpredictable, and he could fight such a large crocodile with a combat force. As you can imagine, the strength of the battle force can already be guessed. Yi Yixing's identity and strength made him extremely optimistic. As long as such a person does not die midway, he can definitely do something in this new world. As Yi Tianxing said before, the entire Yangjia village has reached a situation of frequent extinction. Even if you don't care about death, you must plan for your children. Brother Yi, you can just call me Yanding or Erlang. I heard that you hunted a huge crocodile, I haven't seen it yet. I must hunt a crocodile in the future. Yang Yanding had no strange feeling of restraint at all, but seemed extremely enthusiastic. The words are also very interested in the big crocodile hunted by Yi Tianxing. He is a general and a natural power. He has a natural closeness to the strong. There will be a chance. Yi Tianxing heard it, but said with a smile. Gaze was at this moment, looking outside. He only saw that, outside Yangjia village, a huge giant wolf was staring coldly at the entire village. Each of them was extremely tall, and the suffocating gas made people shudder, and even a kind of invisible fear was born in his heart. There was a faint drool of tusks. The eyes are green and bloody. Such a wolf is too scary. Judah, that huge body, even if the tiger was in front of them, all turned around and fled on the spot. The combat strength is not under the tigers. These wolves can even be mounted as mounts. I'm not afraid of one head and two heads, but now there are hundreds or thousands of them, and the number is still increasing, and it seems to be constantly coming from other places. The air machine emitted from each head is comparable to the most powerful ordinary human, and even more powerful. Already close to the monks, even the monks who are serious in Shanghai can fight. The most important thing is that this number is too much. The terrible thing about the jackal wolves is that the wolves are social animals, and when the wolves are hunting, they cooperate with each other. This cooperation is quite tacit. The destructive power that erupted was multiplied. Are these the wolves that have been attacking the village? Qi Yishanxing looked at the wolf packs constantly appearing outside, his eyes also showed a dignified color. Yes, there are too many of these wolves, and I don't know where they came from, but they must be in the nearby grasslands. At the beginning, they were not many, but so far they have been increasing. The damage to the village is also getting bigger and bigger. This is just the beginning, and the number will wait for more. If you want to attack, it should be at night. Quote. Yang Yanping took a deep breath and said solemnly. These wolves will be stronger at night. Yang Yi said in a deep voice. The attacks of the wolves came from the night, but it was not that they did not fight with the wolves during the day. At the beginning, Yang Jiazhen did not break too much, and played a match with the wolves during the day. Two comparisons directly distinguish the strength. Damn, Dad, let me take a team of soldiers out and kill the arrogance of these evil wolves. Yang Yanding said with a fist, biting his teeth. The pack of wolves looked at the village's gaze coldly, making Yang Yanding's heart anger. Meng knelt down on one knee and bowed towards Yang Yi. Don't be impulsive, we have no strength to start the offensive again. There are only more than 1,000 soldiers and no war horses around us. We can't initiate an assault, even if there are war horses, we must be afraid of them in front of the pack of wolves. At the speed of these giant wolves, as long as we leave the village, the entire Yangjia village will be completely slaughtered by the wolves. Today we only have passive defense and are unable to attack. Quote. Yang Yi directly yelled, how rich his combat experience is, his grasp of the war situation is even better, and he is extremely clear about the current situation. There are wolves outside. The speed of wolves is faster than humans. If they form a battle line, they can fight against the wolves with the ability of the army. Otherwise, they are hiding behind the fortifications and relying on the fortifications to fight. But to kill the village, it is almost to die, to completely abandon the safety of tens of thousands of people in the entire village, once there is no Yangjiazhen defense. The whole village is followed by the food in front of the wolves. I don't know how many people will die. This is already persecuted and they can only passively defend. There is no other way. The puppet soldiers will be too few, even if Yang Yi has a great ability, there is no way to show it. Yi, as Yi Tianxing said before, the entire village has reached a state of near extinction. Unless these wolves can be completely resolved, it will be difficult to escape their destiny. However, the wolf kings in these wolves do not seem to have actually appeared. Yi Tianxing frowned slightly. Such a wolf pack, the wolf king must be extremely powerful, and it must be a fierce beast. Once in the product, there is almost bound to be a gift of magical powers on the body. What they are depends on their blood and talents. There are many breeds of jackals, and their talents are different, strong and weak. Just like the blue wolf that Yi Tianxing killed before, it is a wind wolf, which has the natural blood of wind. According to the previous information, the wolf king here is silver. The silver wolf king also has many types. The specific one is not visible, even if it is Yi Tianxing. Brother, look at it, it was the silver wolf that had blinded one eye before. It turned out again. At this moment, Yang Yanding suddenly looked at a hillside opposite. Impressively, a silver wolf stood on the hill. But, the size of the silver wolf is not as good as the nearby giant wolf. It can only be regarded as the size of an ordinary wild wolf, but the spear method of the whole body is silver white. However, one of the silver wolf's eyes has been blinded. Obviously, he was shot blindly. From the remaining eyes, he can see extremely strong hatred, that kind of fierce light, can't wait for the entire Yangjia village slaughter. The jackal is the most vengeful animal, especially this kind of talented bloodline wolf is even more terrible. With this look, it is impossible for the wolves to let go of Yangjia village. As long as he doesn't die, he will always stare at the entire Yangjia village. It was really the silver wolf. At the beginning, it attacked the village with the wolves. The eyes were not dead when it was shot by Erlang. Now it seems to have healed and ready to revenge. Yang Yanping took a deep breath, said solemnly. The previous several attacks, this silver wolf did not appear. But now it appears, obviously, it is intended to revenge in person. The silver wolf has a crescent mark on its forehead, www.novelhall.com, it should be related to the moon. Yi Tianxing keenly found that there was a silver crescent mark on the silver wolf's forehead, flashing a faint silver shine. It seems that Yuehua is circulating. The silver moon of Xiaoyu has a unique bloodline, can absorb the power of Yuehua to increase its strength, can soar its strength under Yuehua, and even increase the rate of injury recovery. Under the moonlight, the strength is continuous. With the power of Silver Moon, the growth potential is amazing. Quote. A record emerged from the Wushu Tianshu. It turned out to be the Silver Moon of Xiaoyu. It is no wonder that the attack will not be launched until the night comes. Under the moonlight, the strength of the Silver Moon of Xiaoyu can be multiplied directly, and an amazing skyrocketing can occur. The strength can be doubled. Yi Yixing murmured to himself. In this way, dealing with these wolves in the dark is simply the most unfavorable thing. Obviously, the best time to deal with wolves is during the day. Looking at the sky, it is already approaching the evening. General Yang, you can't wait. Since this Xiaoyu silver wolf appears, it must be revenge. This attack is to completely destroy Yangjia village. And there is a wolf king behind it. At night, the moon comes out, the whole village, the possibility of keeping it is extremely slim. It must be resolved now. Quote. Qi Yishanxing said decisively. But the villagers in this village. Where would Yang Ye not know what Yi Tianxing said was the fact in front of him? However, he still couldn't let down the villagers behind him. Hesitation appeared on his face. He is going to kill with the army, and the whole village will be under the fangs of the wolf pack. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are all in. www.novelhall.com. Mobile users please read. Chapter 84. Dancing with the Wolf. For recommended collection, close black lens bracket. General Yang, let Yimao go out and try out the abilities of these giant wolves and see how powerful they are. Xiaoyan Silver Wolf, the top blood of the wolf tribe. Yi Tianxing laughed and battled on his back. The spear was held directly in his hand. Starting with the battle spear, a strong self-confidence rose in the heart. The congenital yin and yang eyes are already in a stage of frequent transformation, and a large number of souls are needed to promote this transformation. The stronger the soul, the greater the benefit to the yin and yang eyes. Such a big wolf, the soul in the body, sure more powerful than normal monsters. Bu Yao, don't, the wolves will not tell you to fight alone, swarm up and siege directly. It is too dangerous to go alone. Yang Yanping heard and quickly dissuaded. Let me accompany you. Yang Yanding was eager to look. Bu Yang, no, let me try the depth of the wolf pack. Qi Yishanxing said calmly, without any pause under his feet, stepping out directly towards the outside, each step with a firm determination and unchangeable belief. He is confident that even if he is really trapped in the siege of the wolves, he can still save his life. He didn't just cultivate to reach the double peak of Shanghai realm, his physical strength also reached the pure power of Heiding Yiming, 10,000 caddies. Such a power is even more terrible than natural divine power. Boom, 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 stepping out step by step, straight out of the village, looking at Yi Tianxing's figure, Yang Yi opened his lips and wanted to stop it, but he didn't say anything. He could see that Yi Tianxing's personality was absolutely, that is to say, once you make a decision, 9 cows cannot pull back. It was futile to dissuade him, and it was absolutely impossible to change his decision. It is very extraordinary. If he is the master of Xuanwang village, and if he can cross the jungle and hunt large crocodiles, he will not be injured. He should not be an ordinary person, but he may be a real monk. A deep gaze flashed in his eyes, and his heart groaned secretly. He knows too little about Yi Tianxing. This time, having the opportunity to witness his strength is also a rare opportunity. I may not be able to see from it. When he came to the whole world, he already knew about cultivation. In addition, there is a cultivation practice method on the body, which is the Yang family ancestral method, Yang family spreadsheet, which is a family-made weapon created by Yang Shen. There is only a superficial technique of vomiting in the body. There is no method of internal cultivation. Although the marksmanship is superb, it is a fighting mark on the battlefield. But after the establishment of Yangjia village, the people in the village presented a workbook, King Konglong Elephant Gong. When they got it, Yang Yi's father and son were all very happy, but after watching it carefully, they found that it's too difficult to cultivate. It's not normal practice at all. It seems to be a physical practice. When others practice, qi and blood rolled, there was no way to continue, only Erlang Yang Yanding seemed to have that talent. Can practice. After practicing, he is even more powerful. According to the commentary of the exercises, that one is a practice of exercises. Gongfa that exists purely to temper the flesh. It is too painful for me to forcibly cultivate. When you see and practice, you can only look forward to other exercises in the future. I can say that apart from Yang Yanding, Yang Yi and Yang Yanping are ordinary people. Not a monk. Alas, I was originally gathered outside the village, and I watched the wolves in the village coldly and saw that some people came out of the village, exuding a strong fierce gas instantly. In particular, the silver moon of Xiaoyu showed cold eyes, one eye, staring at Yi Tianxing. Looking at the figure he came out, Yang Tian opened a scream of a howling wolf. The wolves of crickets should reconcile, and howl of wolves. A giant wolf rushed out first. From standing still, to starting to run, there was no buffer at all. As soon as it was started, the speed reached a thrilling point, plus that huge body, it was like a car. The high-speed car was instantly culled towards Yi Tianxing. Fangs of fangs, sharp dew claws, cold eyes. Fang Da zoom in instantly. Kill. Yi Yixing's expression was cold, and his heart became extremely calm. The giant wolf's moving speed became extremely fast, but still couldn't escape his eyes. All the movements were clearly visible. You can even see that the giant wolf has reached out its claws, tearing a claw towards his chest. The fierce claw wind brought a tearing sound. He can fall on his body without any doubt and tear his chest and pull out his heart. Yi Tianxing didn't budge. He also ran forward. When he stepped on the ground, a crack appeared on the ground. At the moment when the giant wolf leapt into the air, his body suddenly squatted down, and his war spear slanted forward. Out! Ha! A flash of blood flashed through. A giant wolf had been politely pierced through his throat, and his huge body was just picked on the war spear, and he swung it away. The giant wolf's body had been thrown aside, and it was too late to scream. It has been completely killed. Fast. Yang Yanping's eyes were frozen. Good precision spear, good fighting instinct. So keen on the timing, Yang Yi said with a positive expression, unconsciously. He is a marksman. The gun originally evolved from a spear. The spear is no stranger to it. The spear is not so advanced. It can even be said to be very simple, but it is so simple and straightforward, but it can make a giant wolf die in one shot. This grasp of timing and control is really clever. In the eyes of others, the picture you see is. In the onslaught, Yi Tianxing suddenly squatted down, the war spear lifted, pointing obliquely to the void, and the moment he lifted up happened to be the moment when the giant wolf took off in the air, facing the war spear. It was too late to dodge, just like the giant wolf pounced directly on the war spear. It was simply that the wolf committed suicide by himself. This is the powerful force exerted to control the timing in the war situation. Alas! But this giant wolf is just the beginning. Behind it, several giant wolves have been brutally culled. Jackal claws, fangs, and even heads and tails. In the hands of the giant wolf, they turned into the most terrible lethal weapons. The giant wolf's big mouth opened, and it could swallow a human head directly. These giant wolves all have extremely powerful fighting instincts. Puff puff. The pace under the lame foot is constantly changing, either left or right, or forward or backward, sideways, moving, and there is no one standing still when breathing. Each time you move the body, the wolf claws coming from around are directly missed. The battle spear in his hand was waved again and again. Every time I waved, the moment I speared out was extremely fast, as amazing as a thunder. Moreover, with each shot, the war spear must take away the life of a giant wolf. Each hit is vital, even the hard skull, pierced on the spot under the war spear. There is a wolf claw that can't be avoided. Yi Tianxing just waved and turned towards the wolf claw, and the huge wolf body was pulled out by a soft force. The magic of Taiji is not something these wolves can resist at all. He only heard the crisp sounds of war spears stabbing into the flesh, and one giant wolf fell around one after another, and as Yi Tianxing's footsteps lay on the ground. In just a few breaths, 6 or 7 giant wolves died under the war spear. The superb spear technique, just the basic spear technique, has been cultivated by him to the point where he is invincible. Each spear kills the enemy in the most direct way. His grasp of timing and talent for battle is absolutely beyond ordinary people. Quote. Yang Yi murmured to himself. The superb spear technique can be practiced, but the control of battle is an instinct. This is pretty scary ability. Dad, let me go out, I'll help Brother Yi. Yang Yanding kept holding the 2 swords in his hands, shaking them back and forth. The war in his eyes was already ready. Looking at Yi Tianxing in the group of wolves, I had long been anxious to kill it immediately and fight alongside it. Hold on. Yi Yangye took a deep breath and glanced at the village behind him. Shen Sheng said. Puff puff. Walking in the wolf pack, Yi Tianxing is like a leisurely stroll in the walking court, except that it is not accompanied by sunny beaches but with blood flowers and a cold body. These giant wolves, which are equivalent to Shanghai, are all in front of him. www.novelhall.com, just like pigs and dogs, are easily slaughtered. The qi and blood baoding in the body is constantly consuming the qi and blood, so that the physical body is always maintained in a peak state. No fatigue. He waved his spear all the way and killed him all the way. The stomping step was directed towards the Shaoyan silver wolf. At the same time that the giant wolf was killed, its own soul was naturally pulled into the eyes by the congenital yin and yang eyes. No one was aware of it. Alas! Howling Moon Silver Wolf saw, her eyes became colder, and a wolverine sounded again, and the surrounding wolves suddenly showed madness, and rushed to Shang Tianxing like a tide. It was hundreds of thousands of wolves. The congregation gathered together like a terrible torrent. I was completely involved in the wolves. There was a wolf claw falling on the body, tearing the outer clothes directly, and a sharp wolf claw fell on the back, but the wolf claw was countered by a very powerful force. The sharp wolf claw couldn't tear the physical defense. A layer of imperceptible light appeared on the skin. The wolf's attack couldn't even break the physical defenses. This point, in the eyes of others, they did not know at all. What they saw was that Yi Tianxing was attacked by the wolf and was traumatized. Yang Yanping flashed anxiety on his face, and said, "Dad, let me order. Let me bring a team of soldiers and rescue Brother Yi. Otherwise, if he is caught in the wolf pack, he will die inside." "Yeah, Dad, how can such a good guy die under the minions of these beasts?" Yang Yanting also said again, www.novelhall.com, welcome the book readers to read the latest, fastest and most popular serial works mobile users at www.novelhall.com, please read. Chapter 85, Yang Jiazhen. His anxious eyes became red, and when he saw Yi Tianxing killing among the wolves, he watched here, unable to do anything, and his face could not help but appear shame. There is a complex picture on Yang Yi's face. He wants to guard this village of Yangjia. Nearly 10,000 people in this village are counting on Yang Jiazhen. If the safety of tens of thousands of people is saved to save one person, the cost is too great. General Yang, you can save people. Such a hero should not die under the minions of the wolves. A voice came from the village, only to see that Lai He was carrying a rucksack and holding a tick in his hand. Bone Knife said decisively. Yeah, General Yang, the former strong man was right. People have to rely on themselves. They have to be self-reliant. We tens of thousands of people can't just rely on the generals and the Yang family to fight in front of them. Able to work. Even if we can't compare with the soldiers, we have more people. Even if they are giant wolves, we can fight back together. A young man said loudly. In his words, a strong self-confidence was revealed. As long as all the people in the village contribute their strength and rely on the fence, they may not be able to exert a certain strength. Fighting will not work, and they can withstand the attacks of wolves, but they may not be able to do so. They must also contribute to their own survival. The people in the village were not idiots, but they lacked that courage. But when I saw Yi Tianxing dare to step out of the village alone, he killed the wolves alone with a spear, fought with the wolves, and danced with blood. The feeling was like Chen Zongmu's drumbeat on his soul. Seeing the Yang family's father and son dare not let the army leave the village for them, they went to the rescue, went outside, fight with the wolves, and decided to fight to the death. It even gave birth to a strong sense of shame. He even knew that once night came, the combat power of the entire wolf pack would be greatly increased. Not Zhang under that kind of increase, it is even more irresistible to the entire village. To solve the wolf pack, it must be during the day, and only during the day can there be opportunities. You guys, Qi Yangye saw a horrible surprise on his face when he saw the people coming. The people who originally needed Yang Jiazhen's protection at this moment actually took the initiative to defend the village from the wolves. Although they were afraid one by one, they did not flinch. They all knew that at this moment, flinching was useless and the village was broken. They could not escape the fate of death. General Yang, we can't all rely on your Yang family to guard us, now it is time for us to do our part. I heard aloud the people. Don't look at us as chefs, we all eat knives with rice. Lai He's face showed a hint of embarrassment. The boning knife in the hand was gleaming. This is a cold iron sword. I was surrounded by a large group of chefs. What the chef is like is also the role of eating a knife and eating rice. As for the knives, all of them are good. Yang Yi's eyes glanced at the faces of more and more people who came over, and he couldn't help but give birth to a little frustration and enlightenment, and muttered to himself, man is not destroyed for his own sake. In the heyday, my behavior is protection. In troubled times, my behavior is strangling. It turns out that, it seems that I am really not suitable for being a leader. It is my ability to command the army. Quote, I thought of what Yi Tianxing said before, and my heart could not help but give birth to a bit of bitterness. No wonder Yi Tianxing, as the head of a village, dares to leave his village at will, because in his village, there are people who are more afraid of death and are willing to pay blood for their survival to defend their lives. There is no such thing as an insurmountable people. Excessive protection has actually pushed Yang Jiaqun into today's desperate situation. She took a deep breath, suppressed all thoughts completely, looked at the longing and expectant eyes of the eldest son and second son around her, and gave a decisive order, blaring the rally, Yang Jiazhen, gather, line up. Yes, my father is handsome. Yang Yanping and Yang Yanding heard, with excitement in their faces, kneeling on one knee to worship. Alas, alas, the rallying number in the central army blew completely. Hong 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 hong, Shi Bing, a soldier continually gathered from various areas of the village to form a queue. A team rushed quickly. In the heavy footsteps, a General Yang Jiazhen quickly gathered and arrayed at the village entrance. More than 1,500 soldiers had assembled in a short while. Although the armor on each one appeared to be a little broken, it was a medal obtained on the battlefield. Even if the armor was broken, they still did not cause any retreat fear on their faces, and they still had iron-like will. Each soldier looked at Yang Yi with a keen eye for examination. That is their spiritual backbone. See, General. All the soldiers bowed down on one knee at the same time and opened their mouths and shouted. Get up, prepare, array. Shi Yangye is wearing an armor with a long sword at the waist and a long iron spear in his hand. Straight, standing like a spear, stands in front of the army. I exhaled a strong momentum. Array, gunmen are out, archers are in. Tibetan front array. Yang Yanping uttered a drink. Hong 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 hong. Immediately, the soldiers in front of him changed rapidly. A pikeman stands outside, and inside it is a famous archer, outside is a pikeman, and inside is an archer. The array is triangular, like sharp knife with the same handle. The pikeman resisted the attack, and the archer fired a battle arrow. This battle array is very powerful. With more than 1,000 Yang Jiazhens, they immediately formed Tibetan fronts. Yang Jiazhen, move forward, move forward, move forward. Yi Yangye shouted. The pike fluttered towards the outside. Kill, kill, kill. Ming, a famous warrior's eyes flashed with war intentions, and they moved instantly, stepping out in neat steps, with uniform movements. Not one person was moving, but the entire battle array was moving. I walked past the village gate, exuding a strong evil spirit. This evil spirit was the momentum and force of the elite army. The tragic momentum allowed the birds in the sky to evade and kept fleeing to the surroundings, and they dared not appear above the village. Yang Jiazhen is an army that is good at attacking. Defense is just Ku Kai. It was only at this moment that their spirits were revealed. The army formations fell in the eyes of all the villagers, just like seeing a cold and terrible beast. The whole soul was shaking, giving birth to an unspeakable shock. Yang Jiazhen, this is the real Yang Jiazhen. This momentum, the army I have seen before, is not much comparable. Yang Jiazhen should have fought against the enemy on the front of the battlefield instead of defending in the village. If he had gone out to fight before, maybe he would not have such a huge casualty. It's so powerful. This evil is the anger and accumulated warfare that they have accumulated in these hearts these days, and all of them are vented at this moment. This time Yang Jiazhen is afraid that he will really have to fight water. Hundreds of people made rumblings in their mouths, and they also saw that Yang Jiazhen now has the faith to fight backwaters. They felt the spirit of a decisive battle on their generals. General Yi is not afraid of death, so they are not afraid of death. The sun began to set in the sky. The evening sun sprinkled on a famous soldier, shining on the torn armor, but with a shimmer of golden light, one face after another, with determination and determination. His eyes are always firm. Hong 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 hong. Step forward each army, step out of the village, come to the battlefield, and look at the wolves in front. Step forward step by step. Each step is extremely calm, and each step is firm and powerful. Neat steps make the ground shake, and the air trembles. A momentum, like a tide, rolled over the entire battlefield. With each step, the momentum is skyrocketing, crushing past the wolves like mountains and rivers. The evil spirit was not under the suffocation of the wolves. Alas! Xiao Xiaoyu Silver Wolf saw that Yang Jiazhen really rushed out of the village, and the hatred in his eyes suddenly surged. Looking at Yang Jiazhen, he made a screaming wolf. I was originally besieging the wolves of Yi Tianxing, and spread out instantly, staring at the approaching Yang Jiazhen. Looking at the army formations, his eyes were equally fierce. Alas! Then, at this moment, a louder, horrifying howl rushed into the sky. A silver light cut through the void like a lightning, and instantly appeared on the hillside. When the silver light stopped, it was obvious that a silver wolf larger than half of the giant wolves appeared on the hillside. The emerging one-eyed silver wolf stands together. www.novelhall.com. The original one-eyed silver wolf is compared with the newly appeared silver wolf. No matter the size or the momentum, it is not at a level. On its forehead, it also had a silver lingering moon mark. It emits a strong silver light, and the momentum of a king naturally passes the whole world. A large number of wolves followed, thousands of heads. But at the same time, he fell to the ground towards the silver moon king of Xiaoyu, and he did not even dare to lift his head. The momentum was from the coercion in the blood, so that the wolves could not have any resistance, which was really terrible. To the extreme. That picture is terrifying. Alas. The howling moon wolf king glanced at Yangjia village and Yang Jiazhen stepping out step by step. Brush. Howling in the howl, I only saw that the silver moon mark on the forehead of the howling wolf king bloomed a silver-white moonlight, which escaped like a tide and fell on all the giant wolves in the wolf pack. All the giant wolves immediately howled at the moment when the moonlight shone, and the momentum on their bodies skyrocketed, and the wolves' hairs stood upright. Looks unusually stingy. Fatal tactics silver moon, talented supernatural power silver moon shines. Rumble. The pack of wolves seemed to be ordered, and they were instantly violent. A large number of giant wolves split into two like a tide, a group of fiercely killed them in the Yangjia village, and a group of them swept across the Yang family. I ran like crazy. Kill, kill, kill. A terrible killing sound broke out in Yang Jiazhen. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are all in. www.novelhall.com. Mobile users, please read. Chapter 86. Loyal. Stop. Yang Yi spit out a word. Boom. At the moment he opened his mouth, the military formations stopped without hesitation. At the pause, they were still complete military formations, triangles, gunmen out, and archers in. Triple gun array, raise your gun and kill. Yang Yanping also ordered. Each Tibetan front has 3 gunmen. As the order was issued, I immediately saw that the gunmen in the first row were kneeling on one knee at the same time. The second row raised their guns and bowed, as if to pierce the spear forward at any time. The third row of pikemen stand alternately with the second row, ready to support. A spear with a terrible coldness. Each army formation, like a hedgehog, instantly revealed its sharp minions. The archer even pulled the bow and arrow, facing away, covering all the range in the shooting range. Such a military formation, as soon as it showed its fangs, immediately shed a terrible evil. Throughout the battlefield, a tragic murderous spirit echoed. The movements of all the generals were extremely numerous, and each process was filled with iron and blood, and the general's temperament was completely revealed. Looking at the giant wolf that was culled from all directions, no one flinched. The wolf pack is tied, and the army formation is an indestructible reef. A good Yang family army has a strong fighting force on the ground. This army formation, hidden edge, is not defensive, but it is more terrible than the defensive army formation. The spear is power, like a hedgehog. Any enemy who dares to touch it will stabbed by a spear. This will be a tragic collision. Quote. Yi Tianxing shook his head, and all the wolves around him killed Yang family and Yang family. Even him, he couldn't help but secretly sigh, the vengeance of the wolves is really not so strong. Don't even care that he killed so many giant wolves, he wanted to completely destroy Yangjia village. However, Yang Jiazhen is not vegetarian. During the Song dynasty, the great Song dynasty was very scarce of horses. Those ranches where horses were kept were controlled by other dynasties. This made the army of the Song dynasty dominated by infantry and cavalry. Therefore, the combat power on the ground is quite powerful. Of course, this is the elite army in the army. For example, Yang Jiazhen. Dear folks, the wolves are here. Don't be afraid. Even if you go together, even the giant wolves can be killed. In the village, a large number of people saw the wolves that had been culled. Their faces were pale, their bodies were shaking, but they did not flinch. Firmly hold the weapon found in your hand. Alas, the wolves rushed to the front of the army, and headed one by one. They rushed towards the army without hesitation. After being illuminated by the moon, their physical defenses increased greatly, and they became more fearless. Waving dew claws, he slaps at a famous soldier. Once he falls on the body, with the power contained in Dewclaws, an adult will be shot upside down on the spot. Kill. The first row of pikemen always squatted on the ground without moving, but the archers in the army array shot the sharp arrows in their hands after the giant wolves entered the range. These archers are good shooters, and the accuracy of their hits is quite high, especially after going through many battles. This experience is even more abundant. At this moment, it is even more extraordinary to show your own level. A sharp arrow burst through the air, extremely fast. But the response of those giant wolves is equally amazing. Even if they jump up in the air, they can capture the empty trajectory of the sharp arrows. If it is open, you can also turn your body sideways, so that the sharp arrows that were originally aimed at the key will fall to other parts. The response, speed, and strength of the body are all bigger than on the wall. The talent of the Howling Wolf King is very scary. But there were still giant wolves being shot, and there were too many sharp arrows. As soon as it was shot, it immediately fell to the ground and was shot again by more sharp arrows and shot. In each army formation, there are no less than dozens of archers. At the same time, the arrows are fired. In a round of fire, the power is extremely impressive. A giant wolf was shot midway, either dead or injured. Fall to the ground. The giant wolf rushing to the front of the army with an arrow rain, first of all faced a sharp lance. The gunmen in the first row did not move at all, and the spears always stood up. As long as the wolves rushed over, they would hit the spears themselves, piercing their bodies on the spot. The second row of gunmen, however, took the initiative to shoot, and the long gun in their hands kept waving. The only simple and direct action was stabbing. Keep stabbing the spear. Some wolves were stabbed by spears on the spot. The physical defense of those wolves was strengthened. The spears were stabbed on it and they only penetrated a part. They could not pierce two deep wounds. Several soldiers must shoot at the same time and penetrate into the key to the wolf is completely killed. Young Jajan obviously has a good understanding of the strength of the wolves. He has already fought too many times. The cooperation with each other is also quite tacit. As long as a giant wolf is stabbed, immediately, nearby soldiers will shoot the first time, with the fastest speed, piercing the spear into the key of the wolf, such as the eyes, and decisively kill it. However, some giant wolves also rushed into the army. Before dying, they even clawed their paws fiercely or bit their mouths openly. There was blood on the spot, blood dripping. Soldiers are either dead or injured. As for the gunmen in the third row, as long as any soldier is injured or even killed, they will replace the opponent's position in the first time, so that the army formation is like a reef in the waves. It was terrible, and at the beginning of the battle it became extremely violent. The wolf group and Yang Jajan's crazy fight together, every moment a giant wolf died, and some soldiers fell. You beasts, let me die. Among the wolves, Yang Yanding gave a roar, and the two swords in his hand kept being chopped out, and the double knives were in his hands, like the blades of two kills. Moreover, the force was infinite, and the long sword waved, and a knife split a giant wolf directly from the middle into two halves. The power is terrifying. The double-edged sword is the same as the wind and fire wheel. The giant wolves around him can't even get close at one time, they are chopped to death, and a corpse is scattered on the battlefield. Yang Yanding's body armor was stained with blood. Alas! At this moment, a silver light flashed, and the speed was so fast that people couldn't even react. Yang Yanding felt a sudden pain on the back, the armor was torn, and the back was ripped off. A piece of flesh. Blood dripping. Nearby, I can clearly see that the Xiaoshaoyan silver wolf was standing on the ground, and licked the blood-stained wolf paw by his mouth, revealing a cruel light. Its speed is too fast. As soon as it moves, it is like a silver light, and it has already been injured because it has no time to respond. Animals, come to war. Yang Yanding felt the injury on his back, but he didn't take much care. His eyes instantly fell on the silver wolf, he uttered a roar, and chopped it with a sword. The flash of the sword light has appeared on the top of the silver wolf, but in the place, the flash of silver light, the silver wolf directly avoided the sword light at a faster speed than the sword light, and at the same time, Yang Yanding again came out with a lot of pain, another piece of flesh was torn from the body. Its speed is faster than Daoguang. It can't hit it at all, and the sword cannot fall on it, so there is no way to cause real damage to it. The speed of Silver Wolf is too scary. In the eyes of the Silver Wolf, hatred, there is a kind of cold pleasure. It was a thrill of revenge. It was an excitement and bloodthirsty to tease the prey. Yang Yanping's spear kept waving, with dozens of giant wolves around him, a spear dancing like a dragon, and the gunpoint picking out amazing spears. Yang's marksmanship was already superb in his hands. Or block or stab, left branch and right side, tearing a wound on the wolf, some directly hit the key, instantly killed. Yang family gun as a battlefield marksmanship, wide open and close. However, he did not become a monk. Although his strength was good and his marksmanship was superb, he still seemed to be difficult to support in the face of the siege of the wolves. His body was torn by the giant wolf and wounded with blood. The armor has been torn. Yang Yi's guns are like dragons, and he has a deeper understanding of Yang's guns. Each gun carries a tragic momentum that goes forward. Every gun seems to be dead with the enemy. The wolves were pierced by spears and pierced their bodies. But under the attack of the giant wolf again and again, his body is constantly showing wounds, and his strength is constantly being consumed. The entire battlefield was filled with tragic breath. No one flinched, a soldier splattering blood and precious life on the battlefield. Even if they die in battle. In front of Yangjia village, a giant wolf rushed to the fence. The fence was only made of wood, which could only play a little blocking role, and could not really block the invasion of the giant wolf. Yu reading www. Yuakanshu. The height of the calm fence, as long as the giant wolf jumps, it can directly pass over. The fence can be forcibly broken even with the body. Kill. A giant wolf rises into the air and leaps over the fence. Yang Jiajin has left the village and is besieged by wolves. The whole village is all ordinary people. There is nothing to fear the wolves. See, the fence just jumped up. If Yang Jiajin was there, the giant wolf wouldn't jump up easily, but now he has nothing to worry about. He saw the wolf leaping in the air, a flash of light flashed in his eyes, a faint expression appeared on his face, a scream in his mouth, and the boning knife held in his hand waved unceremoniously. Puff! People nearby could only see that in Laihe's hand, the boning knife waved everything, and it was retracted. The giant wolf's body fell directly to the ground from midair. Standing on the ground, majestic, but motionless, the fierce light in his eyes was falling apart. Wow! On the wolf, a piece of meat suddenly fell. To be continued. Chapter 87, Moon Blade. This seems to be a signal, and then I saw that pieces of flesh and blood were continuously separated from the giant wolf, and the wolf's skin was also separated from it. It fell to the ground, ********1, and in just a blink of an eye, the giant wolf had become with a huge bone skeleton, only the bones are still intact, supporting the body to stand on the ground without falling down. All the internal organs have fallen to the ground. Only the empty skeleton remained. Well, is this still a chef? With a single knife, the flesh is separated, and it is crisp and clear. This knife method is not much different from that of Jia Ding. Some people saw that they couldn't help taking a breath on the spot, their eyes were all look straight. Awesome knives, I'm not mistaken, the chef really ate a meal with a knife. Someone whispered secretly. He secretly said, it seems that the chef can't easily offend. If you accidentally give you a knife, it must not become a skeleton. Look at those chefs, it's fierce. Someone looked at the other chefs, and his shock was even stronger. I only saw that the chefs were really fierce one by one, holding their own knives one by one, and saw the wolf rushing over, and waved the knife to kill the past. Some chefs were perforated by the giant wolf's claws, and died, but some chefs took the opportunity he slashed his sword at the wolf. These chefs cut meat every day, and they are no less in control of the key than the butcher. The chopped past were all the key parts. Several chefs rushed up, bleeding a giant wolf and dismembering. Daoguang Huahuo, each one has a high degree of heat. Many people who see it have chills in their hearts. In the face of other giant wolves, the people who were afraid in their hearts took up their weapons and attacked the giant wolves. Unfortunately, those giant wolves had thick skin and fast speed. When they rushed over, they would tear people directly into pieces. With a bite in the mouth, someone's head was severed. As soon as the tail was swept away, the adult men were vomiting blood and flew out. That picture is like entering the flock. Blood light and screams kept ringing. Although the villagers inspired courage, after all, the strength is fundamentally different from the real soldiers. Courage brings faith, but it cannot give strength. The picture of a large number of people being killed in front of the giant wolf completely changes the cruelty of this world. The blood was revealed. Damn beast. Even after Yang Yi saw the terrible assassination in the village, he couldn't help but utter a rage, almost crackling. Anxious to immediately turn around and return to the village to rescue the villagers. Dad, it's too late. Only by killing the Wolf King can the wolf pack be repelled. The Wolf King is not dead. This scene will happen sooner or later. Yang Yanping bloodied and shouted. The Wolf King is gone. Yi Tianxing glanced down at the hillside. On the hillside, the figure of the Wolf King Howling Wolf did not know when it had disappeared. It suddenly disappeared at this time, obviously, absolutely unusual. The Moon King Wolf has appeared, so I am not afraid of you disappearing. Since the Wolf King is not there, then kill the little wolf cub first. Kill this wolf cub, not afraid that you will not come out. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed, holding a war spear, his gaze looked at the Xiaoxiaoyu silver wolf who was surrounded by Yang Yanding. The silver wolf faced Yang Yanding as if it were a cat and a mouse. It's going to play Yang Yanding and die. I don't know if I kill the prey for the first time, but with the heart of teasing the prey, wisdom can be comparable to normal human beings. But this mentality is human bad habits. Yi Tianxing saw with a sneer and said in his heart. Black and white appeared in the eyes. Congenital yin-yang eyes yin-yang lock. Wow, 9 bars of yin and yang appeared in an instant, breaking through the battlefield like a snake and appearing in front of the silver wolf. Fast bound to the past. The silver wolf was shocked to see the yin and yang lock that suddenly appeared. Although he didn't know what it was, he instinctively avoided it. But it's fast, and the speed of yin and yang lock is not slow either. 9 yin and yang locks already covered most of the nearby space under the attack range. At the moment the silver wolf moved, it was already entangled. Boom! Silver wolf's body, front feet, hind legs are all bound by yin and yang locks in an instant. The body moving at high speed immediately fell to the ground, rolling one after the other, stopping after loading a stone. 9 yin and yang locks have been tied firmly. On the yin and yang locks, black and white divine light flashed. A strange power began to invade the soul. Alas! Feeling that his body was bound, the silver wolf issued an angry wolf howl on the spot. It didn't expect that he was just teasing his opponent, and would kill his enemies a little bit, then kill them thoroughly. Finally enjoyed the thrill of revenge, but did not expect that this reversal would happen suddenly. He would be bound by somehow. The anger in my heart skyrocketed. At a glance, I immediately saw Yi Tianxing, who was rushing forward step by step. Where would I still know? The attack just came from the strange man in front of him. Brother Yi. Yang Yanding also saw Yi Tianxing approaching quickly, and even saw the 9 yin and yang locks appear at an instant, restraining the silver wolf that made him completely helpless at an incredible speed. This reversal couldn't even react to him. The silver wolf is settled by me. You have to deal with other giant wolves. The village is very dangerous. Yi Tianxing said quickly. Okay, I'll leave it to Brother Yi. I'll save the villagers. Yang Yanding turned to look at the village, and in the village there was a constant killing. A large number of bodies were lying on the ground. Obviously, in the process of fighting the wolves, the casualties were heavy. Immediately anxious, he hurried back towards Yangjiakyun. Alas! The silver wolf looked at Yi Tianxing approaching, and suddenly, the trace of the lingering moon on his forehead lit up directly, emitting a thick layer of silver light. Brush! A silver divine light flickered and turned into a silvery white moon blade that quickly condensed. A silver divine glow appeared on the moon blade. As soon as it appeared, it was followed by a waning number of waning moons. Without any pause, as soon as the moon blade condensed out, it immediately cut through the void like lightning, chopping past Yi Tianxing. Moonblade is extremely fast, so fast that it can't be captured with your eyes. This is pretty scary magical power. Fate Silver Moon, Talent Supernatural Power Moonblade. This is a gifted supernatural power derived from Mingqiao Yinyu. Has inhuman speed like moonlight. You can kill people instantly without waiting for the other side to respond. Obviously, this silver wolf hated Yi Tianxing's teeth itchingly, bound his own minions, could not move, and unceremoniously issued his own natural magical powers, giving a fatal blow. So fast, Yi Tianxing's yin and yang eyes only captured a silver light flashing. The moon blade had already appeared in front of him. It really had a speed comparable to moonlight. Of course, this speed was not as good as moonlight, but it had 30% of its power. Moonblade split directly on Yi Tianxing's forehead. Ding! The picture of Moonblade splitting his head did not appear. Instead, a strange sound was produced. A strange treasure light emerged from the forehead under the moonblade, showing strong toughness. The physical body of the refiner can block the magic soldier, Beng Shintong. Even if it has just become a practitioner, the physical defense has reached a sensational level. A powerful potential erupted from the flesh and bombarded the moonblade. The entire moonblade collapsed on the spot. So fast, so sharp moonblade. Yi Tianxing felt secretly in his heart, and a scar appeared on his forehead, exuding a few fine blood beads. The edge of that moon blade has broken the defense of the membrane, but the power in it is completely exhausted and blocked by the bones. Otherwise, even the head will be split. My heart was stunned, but there was no pause in my hands. When I stepped on my foot, the ground cracked, and my body rushed out like a cannonball. Puff! The war spear pierced straight into the head of the silver wolf. With a flick of his wrist, he picked the silver wolf in the air on the spot. Before screaming too late, he died under the spear. The silver wolf's one eye flashed the light of hatred, terrible. These are long to say, but from the fight to the end, that is, in just a few breaths, they have been completely divided into births and deaths. Every moment is the distance between life and death. One carelessness can be fatal. The talent of the Xiaoyu silver wolf is really powerful. It still hasn't grown up. It's just a yellow beast. The awakened talents are not too powerful. Once they grow up, these magical powers will skyrocket with power. Just that way the moon blade can cause a large number of enemies to be damaged and fallen. Yi Tianxing had a secret thought in his heart. Immediately after the thought, the 9 yin and yang locks scattered instantly, turning into yin and yang rings, and constantly shuttled on the battlefield, pulling souls from the body of a giant wolf. www.novelhall.com, forcibly brought in yin and yang eyes. And in the body of the silver wolf in front of it, a silver-white wolf soul followed the car being pulled out. I swallow it in the blink of an eye. Brush. After these wolf souls entered the yin and yang eyes, the congenital yin and yang **** pictures inside them directly suppressed the past and naturally refined. Yin and yang divine light staggered in the divine figure. A mysterious Daoyun is converging. It seems that something really needs to be born in the yin and yang **** picture. Congenital yin and yang eyes are transforming. This is to generate new yin and yang magical powers. Yi Tianxing felt overjoyed. In the previous killings, hunting a large number of souls, coupled with the newly looted wolf souls, finally fully allowed the yin and yang eyes to accumulate, and began to transform, resulting in new yin and yang magical powers. Once born, it will definitely not be inferior to, or even more powerful than, the yin and yang lock, and the effect will definitely be different. If the magical power is defeated, Yi Tianxing's own overall strength will greatly increase as a result. Amazing metamorphosis. To be continued. Chapter 88. Evil Dog. The greatest power of the first magical yin and yang lock derived from the yin and yang eyes is to suppress the soul, restrain the dead soul, and kill the evil spirits, but it does not have much effect on the living beings, the real living life, and can only play a certain assistant. However, the second magical power that comes out of it is unable to exert the extremely strong combat power. Yi Tianxing is naturally looking forward to it. Looking forward to a real killing magic power. But expectation is expectation, and hope is just hope. He can't intervene in the process of deriving supernatural powers from yin and yang eyes. He can only watch and passively accept. What kind of supernatural powers can only be known after the final birth. Can't wait now. Moreover, he didn't even know the time of this birth. Maybe long or short. Now, it is beginning to evolve. It's a pity that now in the battlefield, there is no way to wait. Yin-yang ring, suppression. Scanning the battlefield, Yang Jiazhen and the wolves are still engaged in fierce confrontation, entangled fiercely. Yi Tianxing frowned slightly, and gave a drink on the spot. The 9 yin and yang locks turned into black and white yin and yang rings, and they were suppressed in an instant towards the ferocious giant wolf. Ding ding ding. The yin and yang rings are set on the giant wolves, but the effect of suppressing the soul does not appear in the imagination. On those wolves, a layer of silvery moonlight emerges, completely blocking the impact transmitted by the yin and yang rings. Stunning the souls of these wolves. As if it had not been affected, it was still brutally culled. Those moonlights block the stun of the yin and yang rings. It seems that the yin and yang rings have no effect on the wolves. Yi Tianxing saw that his brows were frowning, and his heart was groaning secretly. The yin and yang lock was indeed a magical power to suppress the soul, but it was really weak for the living creatures. The previously unfavorable means have been invalidated. It can be imagined that the more powerful the life, the stronger the resistance to the yin-yang lock. It can be guessed that in the future, the yin and yang locks will not have much effect on those powerful beasts. Howling. At this moment, an extremely angry howling sounded on the battlefield. The giant howling wolf king appeared outside Yang's village. He looked back at Yi Tianxing fiercely, and looked at the little silver wolf picked up by the war spear. The anger and hatred in his eyes almost made Yi Tianxing's body penetrate. The wolf howled with grief and endless anger. It didn't expect that just by leaving for a while, his son-in-law was killed. This anger was almost impossible to contain, and both eyes became blood red. Brush, rumbling. On the forehead of the howling wolf king, the silver moon mark radiates a strong moonlight, condensing into a huge moon blade. This moon blade is more than several times larger than that of the little silver wolf, which is more than one as an adult. He fiercely chopped down towards the central house in Yangjia village as soon as he appeared. That mansion was condensed from the village building order. It is the center of a village. Qi and Tianqi is among them. Once broken, the entire Yangjia village will be destroyed. This howling wolf king is very clever and instinctively feels the special of the mansion. The moon blade sent out chopped towards the mansion without a cover. The moon blade was too severe and the speed was reaching the peak. It looked like it was a falling moon falling directly. A common man was cut off on the spot and the blood was shining. Silver moon ran in the blood. Chopping on the mansion, I saw on the spot that the entire mansion was under the moon blade and was split directly from the middle, and a huge crack appeared on the ground. Puff! Yang Yi opened a mouthful of inverse blood. Looking to Yangjia village. Paled face. Yangjiakyun was broken. My luck in Yangjiakyun has been damaged. Damn beast. Yang Yi raised a roar. He was the master of Yangjia village, and Qi and Tianqi was destroyed. The grief in my heart was stronger. The eyes were red, and Yang Jia's gun kept waving, and a giant wolf penetrated wildly. Even the wounds on the body of the wolf did not reduce the anger in his heart. With the pack of wolves to restrain Yang Jiazhen, he immediately made a decision to sneak attack from behind, destroy Yangjiakyun, and destroy the foundation of the integrated village. Destroying village defenses has the same wisdom as humans. Strength is stronger than the previous silver wolf. Yi Tianxing also saw this scene, seeing the huge moon blade, could not help but give birth to a strong fear. The destructive power of that moon blade is too amazing. If you say that the strength of the little silver wolf is the second grade of Huangjia, the strength of the wolf king of the moon is definitely the strength of the fourth grade or even the fifth grade of Huangjia, which is equivalent to the 5 strengths of Shanhai realm. The power of that moon blade is too overbearing. Even Yi Tianxing felt a strong pressure and threat on the wolf king. Once grown up, there is definitely the potential to break through to the mysterious beast. Brother Yi, please save Yang's village. Yang Yanping shouted. His body was covered with top wounds, and his shirt was red with blood. Even so, he was still desperately killing the wolves. Yi Tianxing didn't answer. He turned directly and strode towards Yangjia village. This is already the best answer. The eyes of the howling wolf king also fell on Yi Tianxing. Yi Tianxing killed his son-in-law, and his next goal was to kill him and avenge his own son-in-law. In its eyes, it has completely ignored other humans and nailed it to Yi Tianxing. Looking at the figure rushing towards himself, his eyes were extremely fierce and cold. Barking, barking. Just then, a loud angry barking dog sounded in the village. In that cry, with anger and fierceness, I only saw that in front of the mansion that was torn apart, a large, shockingly big dog was roaring. The dog's entire body hair had fallen off, exposing the complete dog skin, and even the skin was falling off a bit. The flower is white and spreads all over the body, which makes people feel trembling, but on the 4 dog legs, a green hair grows around the dog's paw. Moldy, green hair-like, people cannot help but develop a feeling of nausea and disgust. Beside this evil dog, he is a year-old child. But at this moment, the child was lying cold on the ground, and his body was cut open and cut off. The wound was very sharp, apparently dying under the previous moonblade. Although I don't know the relationship between this evil dog and the boy, I can tell at a glance that the evil dog obviously has different feelings for the little boy. The dog was human, and the little boy was killed. The evil dog was provoked on the spot. Red eyes stared at the wolf king, howling loudly. Tooth grinned, full of anger and fierceness. But the evil dog is a huge gap in stature compared to the Moon King. Like the contrast between elephants and humans. The provocative roar fell in the ears of the howling wolf king, just like a cricket ant, but turned his head to glance coldly, with a suffocation in his eyes. The average dog, only after seeing this look will be scared to lie on the ground, dare not move. But this evil dog is different. He didn't have any fear of the deterrent eyes, but instead grinned his teeth fiercely, made a roar, and kicked his 2 hind legs, and rushed towards the Wolf King. The Wolf King saw that he didn't even turn around, so he turned his back to the evil dog with a disdainful gesture. Its enemy is Yi Tianxing, not a gnat-like dog. Fighting with it is a derogation of its identity. When the evil dog rushed behind, the volley jumped up, and when he opened his mouth to bite at the Wolf King, Xiaoyu Wolf King just lifted his hind legs and kicked out directly. Before the evil dog rushed to him, he was kicked upside down. The vicious dog sobbed, and had been soared dozens of meters away, hitting a shed and knocking it down on the spot. That evil dog is weird. In this scene, Yi Tianxing also saw it. When the evil dog appeared, he already noticed that it was so unique. He had seen a lot of markets, and had seen all kinds of strange things. However, this is the first time a weird dog with hair loss and green hair on its feet has seen it for the first time. In it, there was a weird feeling. In particular, even the sight of the Wolf King could not scare the evil dog and dare to launch an attack. The disposition of this evil dog is quite fierce. The most important thing is that when the Wolf King kicked out the evil dog with one foot, Yi Tianxing saw with congenital yin and yang eyes that from the evil dog, from the 4 green hairs on that foot, a green color was emitted. The green gas entangled silently and entangled into the Moon King of the Moon, and penetrated into the body, so that a layer of green gas was circling on the Wolf King. That green gas is invisible to normal eyes. If there were not congenital yin and yang eyes, Yi Tianxing would not have seen it. It is precisely because of seeing this kind of green gas, Yi Tianxing is increasingly sure that the evil dog is definitely not an ordinary big dog. There must be something weird in that green gas. But, www.novelhall.com, obviously can't manage that much now. Yi Tianxing ran all the way. Along the way, the war spear was waved again and again. The installation of the war spear made the war spear invincible. In blood, he was close to the village. The distance from the Wolf King is shrinking. Kill. The battle spear in Yi Tianxing's hand suddenly disappeared, a bow and arrow suddenly appeared in his hand, the body suddenly stopped in a dash, without hesitation, holding a fine steel arrow, the power in his hand poured, the tough war bow was pulled into a full moon. The arrow pointed directly at the Wolf King. Without a pause, the fine steel arrow had broken out of the air. The iron arrow was also filled with pure innocence. When breaking through, you can only see a streamer passing by. This sudden arrow made the Wolf King's eyes and pupils freeze, and the body subconsciously evaded to the side. But when this evaded, a weird situation appeared. To be continued. Chapter 89, Dead Eyes. 4th, please subscribe for monthly tickets. Xiao said, to the brothers urging, I can only say that my hand is broken, and the code word is really up. Close black lens bracket. At the foot of the Wolf King, there is a stone. There was no problem with that stone, but as soon as the Wolf King moved, the stone was round. The stone suddenly rolled and slipped under the power of the force. Foot, just aside and left. This skimming is naturally irrelevant, and it is even hard to shake the Wolf King. But now, it's moving high. If you want to evade one side and let go of your feet, the huge body of the Wolf King will be driven by the powerful force. You can no longer control the body and fall to the ground on the spot. Puff. The fine steel arrow tears the void like a streamer. When the Wolf King fell down, he fell on the left stomach unceremoniously. The silver wolf hair flashed with silver light. He wanted to block the battle arrow, but the battle arrow, the same arrow burst out, coupled with the strong hole penetration in the arrow. The bow and arrow in Yi Tianxing's hand is a strong bow. Of course, there is no way to completely sway his 10,000 pounds of power. But the destructive power is still amazing. Even the body of the Wolf King of the Moon is still under the iron arrow, and the body is torn and the defense is broken. The iron arrow pierces into the flesh coldly, and a dazzling blood flower bursts out. 2/3 of the arrow stabbed into the Wolf King. Alas! The Wolf King uttered a painful howl, but his eyes were full of doubts and shocks. With his head, he couldn't figure out why he suddenly fell, or was left by a small stone. This was almost impossible before. It just happened to be born, but when it was avoiding the sharp arrow, with its degree, it could obviously be avoided. But he just fell to the ground, there was no chance to dodge, and he just hit the arrow. The pain from the body made the Wolf King's heart anger. An iron arrow can't kill it. Get up from the ground. A pair of eyes passed the cold and fierce cold light. It would completely kill the person in front of him, tore it into pieces, and then swallow all his flesh into his stomach in a mouthful, as today's dinner, to worship its children. After standing up, the Wolf King did not move. It will never fall twice in the same place. On the forehead, that silver moon mark began to flash a thick layer of silver moonlight again. Terrible gas engines emerged from the battlefield. Not good, it's Moonblade. Yang Yanping glanced at the fight, his face changed. The Moonblade from the Wolf King was much stronger and faster than the little silver wolf. That's the legendary magic spell. Can't let it out like the waning moon blade, the destructive power is really too strong. Yang Yanding also shouted. Yi Tianxing, how strong are you? Yang Yi groaned secretly in his heart. Regarding Yi Tianxing, he always felt that he could see the flowers in the mist, and his strength was unpredictable. He had previously thought that he was only a superb spearman, and he did not expect that he had magical powers. When Yi Tianxing saw it, he knew immediately that this Wolf King definitely wanted to exhibit the Moonblade magical power. Once it was displayed, the degree of Moonblade burst was absolutely incomparable. You can't let it work, you can't hide, you have to break the Moonblade, you can only use force to break it, forcibly collapse. With my physical strength, even the Moonblade, you have to smash it directly. Yi Tianxing's mind quickly turned. Idea. Although the Moonblade is terrible, it is not necessarily a solution. Yi Tianxing asks his physical strength and can absolutely shake the Moonblade or even shatter it completely. The most important thing is whether he can capture the path of the Moonblade. Yu could not see clearly, so there was no question of how to intercept it. Take a deep breath and take out a fine steel arrow again, ready to shoot another arrow. Well, metamorphosis is complete, and the second magical power in the innate yin and yang eyes has finally conceived. This is, killing magical powers. But when he was about to pull away the bow and arrow again, he suddenly had a meal in his hand, a happy expression appeared on his face, and the innate yin and yang eyes finally gave birth to a second magical power. Moreover, it is a powerful killing magical power, not only targeting the dead souls and evil spirits, but also targeting any life and any powerful person. Congenital yin and yang eyes, yin and yang scissors, kill. When the voice fell, I only saw that the black and white magic light was emitted from my eyes, and instantly turned into a pair of black and white scissors in front of me. The scissors were very stingy. The yin and yang lines on the top were staggered, and the sharpness seemed to be at any time. Cut directly. There is even a song on this scissors. The yin and yang tails blend together, and the black and white matches innately cast. Male and female staggered fortune, Shaoyan yin and yang cut in one. The yin and yang gods of light continue to change in this pair of scissors, exuding the sound of crickets. Roar! The yin and yang scissors flashed with light, and instantly turned into a black and white. Two giant pythons staggered and flew out, like a huge pair of scissors, cut towards the Wolf King. The degree is amazing. Appeared on the battlefield, all the people, even the wolves, Yang Jiazhen, could not help but glanced at them, showing shock and disbelief in their eyes. What is this? A black and white pair of scissors just appeared in front of me, but it immediately turned into a black, white and two strange pythons. Is this a magical power? It is incredible. It's Mr. Yi Tianxing. He can perform magical magic. I don't know if he can kill that Wolf King. It's too miserable that we in Yangjia village were destroyed by these beasts. Look, the Wolf King is going out of that terrible Moonblade again. Can Mr. Yi's magic power stop it? A large number of people are excited and skeptical. They have a little expectation for the strength revealed by Yi Tianxing, expecting someone to rescue them from this desperation, and expecting someone to kill the Wolf King. Never worry about wolf troubles again. Staring at each other, even the wolves seemed to stop attacking. In front of the Wolf King, a silvery white residual moonblade condensed once again, and blew the cold mang in the void. The Wolf King looked at the two black and white pythons that swept towards him, his eyes were even colder, and his heart moved, and Yu was about to shoot out. Ah, sneeze. But just before Yu was going out, all of a sudden, there seemed to be something foreign in the nose, and a sneeze spun out involuntarily. It doesn't matter if this sneeze sneezes, but it happens. When sneezing, Moonblade also went out at the same time, and it was when sneezing. Moonblade had no control at all, so it flew out. The direction in which Moonblade flew out was exactly where the dozen wolves were. Compared with the position where Yi Tianxing is located, it is completely staggered and leans towards the family. This sneeze is simply a pen of God. Let the Wolf King's situation be turned upside down in an instant. Moonblade didn't cut to Yi Tianxing at all, and at this moment, the two black and white pythons had penetrated the void with an amazing degree and appeared outside the Wolf King. Black and white python body staggered. Cut from the Wolf King. The sharp edge that burst between yin and yang was stunning to the extreme. After cutting, the black and white python naturally dissipated in the void. In the distance, Moonblade was chopped off from the unprepared giant wolf, and a dozen giant wolves were chopped into two sections instantly. The Wolf King stood in place, motionless, his eyes opened hugely. What's going on? How could the Wolf King suddenly blast magical powers to his wolf pack? This is not a joke. Is there anything wrong? How could the Wolf King stand in place and face Mr. Yi's magical spells directly? No, the Wolf King just seemed to sneeze. Then, the moon blade flew straight out and fell into the wolf pack. The Wolf King would not be so unlucky. Quote. Someone exclaimed with an unbelievable look. It seems that it is really a sneeze that makes the whole battle reversed in an instant, and life and death are separated at this moment. No, how could such a thing happen and not dreaming? Yang Yanding glared, surprised. Click. At this moment, I only saw that the upper body of the Wolf King fell directly from the body, and the blood spewed out instantly, staining the ground. The eyes of the Wolf King are always wide, and in that gaze, you can see that it is dying to stare. A sneeze, it's a dignified howling Wolf King, so dead. It can't figure out why it sneezes. Why did you suddenly sneeze at this time? It just died somehow. It is not reconciled, it dies. Once it was an accident, it was a coincidence, but twice, it was definitely not an accident, but it was inevitable. Yi Tianxing had a secret in his heart, which he had never thought of. I was thinking that the yin and yang scissors that had just been born would be defeated by the moon blade, but I did not expect that such a subversive change would eventually occur. The opponent suddenly sneezed during the killing. With the strength of the Wolf King, sneezing in battle, this is absolutely impossible, but it happens. There must be some reason for this. Is it it? A picture emerged in Yi Tianxing's mind. The eyes could not help looking at the village. Alas! Howling Wolf King suddenly died. Yu reading quieted the entire wolf group, followed closely, and made a loud wolf howl, clamped his tail, and fled out. In that eye, there was strong fear. The Wolf King, the little silver wolf, all died. Without a collar in the wolves, it instantly became a loose sand, and it was almost an instinct to escape. The wolves retreated, and the annihilation on the battlefield began to dissipate. However, a large number of bones were scattered on the battlefield. In the village, there was a broken house and the impact of the wolves destroyed almost all the buildings. The people in the village also suffered heavy casualties. A large number of people died under wolf paws. There were countless injuries, and a scream was made. It was heard that the heart was shaking. The wolves retreated, we won, we survived. The Wolf King is dead, the wolf packs are retreating, and we finally won, great. Great. You don't have to be afraid of the wolves hitting the village anymore. To be continued. Chapter 90. Unknown Dog. The first change, please subscribe for a monthly pass. In the village, after the surviving people saw the wolves outside running away, their faces suddenly showed joy, and their mouths burst into cheers. The novel AN shouted aloud, as if to vent all the depression in the heart. God knows how much pressure they are under in this strange environment. The pressure of facing death at any time almost pressed their nerves to an extreme. Now the wolf packs have been repelled, and even the Wolf King has been killed, it is foreseeable that the wolf packs have become a loose sand. In addition to this killing, they are also participants and participated in guarding the village themselves, resist the behavior of wolves. Now that the wolves recede, they also have a strong sense of pride in their hearts, a feeling of honor and honor. Count the number of surviving soldiers and converge the dead soldiers. Yang Yi inserted the spear into the ground and supported the body with the gun body. On his body, you can see that dense wounds were spread all over the body, and the armor had been completely torn into pieces by the wolf claws. Where it like tattered, his face was pale and the blood flowing from his body had made him feel completely fainted. There was a burst of pain that came continuously. Dad, are you okay? It doesn't matter, I'll help you go back to rest first. Yang Yanding was better, but he was also bruised all over the body. He was blinded by the little silver wolf, but he was torn a lot. However, he has practiced Vajrayasaurus, physical defense, and blood, which is stronger and stronger than Yang Yi and Yang Yanping. The control of flesh and blood is even more amazing. Those wounds were forcibly controlled by him to shrink and stop bleeding. Maximize your strength. No, let the injured soldiers return to the village first. These injuries can't die. Yang Yi Shensheng refused. Standing on the battlefield, he is a banner, the backbone of the entire Yang Jiazhen. He, standing here, wanted to send those dead soldiers on the last journey. These are the soldiers he taught. From entering the army, joining the Yang family, training daily, living and eating together, step by step from the recruits, in the repeated killings, he became elite. For each soldier in the Yang family, he has deep feelings. For many people, he can call out names. Now watching these familiar soldiers killed in battle, no one can understand the sadness in his heart. All he can do is stand here and send away these soldiers who died in battle. Okay. Dad, at least we repelled the wolf pack. The Wolf King is dead. It will not be possible to form a wolf pack of this size in the future. The soldiers who converged the corpse. There was also a sadness in my heart. Statistics are out. In the Yang family, there were 437 war dead. Everyone was wounded. However, the number of giant wolves killed was not a minority. This time the wolf troubles were completely resolved. The casualties were more serious than Yang Jiajin. I am afraid that thousands of people died in battle. Yang Yanping said. The casualties this time were really terrible. Not only Yang Jiajin, but also ordinary people in the village. The casualties were even worse. After all, it is difficult for ordinary people to fight those violent giant wolves without wanting heavy casualties. Xiaoyu Wolf King, I don't know how this Wolf King tastes, is it good? Yi Tianxing stepped into the village step by step, came to the huge howling Wolf King, looked at the cut body, his eyes flashed with a murmur. Wolf meat is not very tasty. But also have to divide the breed, this howling Wolf King is the best in the wolf tribe. The wolf meat may have a special flavor. Even if he doesn't eat, this Wolf King is all a baby. Whether it's wolf skin or wolf hair, or even bones, these are all excellent refining materials, especially wolf hair, made into rune pens, and the brush is definitely an excellent material. If Mr. Yi wants to eat, I can cook for him and cook a table of food. Lai He was nearby and heard the words coming out of Yi Tianxing's mouth, and immediately went forward and said. Looking at Yi Tianxing's eyes were extremely hot. Witnessing the magical powers of Yi Tianxing with his own eyes, Lai He's shock is definitely a lot, this is a strong one. No one in the entire Yangjia village can match it. In troubled times, it is possible to live better by following the strong. Undoubtedly, Yi Tianxing is an absolute strongman in Lai He's heart. And if you think about it, all you can do is superb cooking. In the previous impression, and what I just heard, in my mind, I have identified for the first time that Yi Tianxing is definitely a gourmet. His own cooking skills are the best names. Okay, I'm waiting to see your cooking. When Yi Tianxing heard, he couldn't help but show a smile to Lai He. Lai He's cooking is absolutely top level, and he can make light food. This already represents his cooking skills and has entered a very high level. Gourmet can be light, he only remembered seeing it in a cartoon, Zonghua Xiaodang. Obviously, the world of Chinese masters must have been integrated into Eternal Big Six, and the unique rules incorporated into it, such as top-notch cuisine, can shine. This will be a criterion for judging top cuisine. Such cuisine has great benefits for strengthening the body. Even if Lai He didn't say it, he would find a way to get around and make all kinds of food for himself. In eating, he will never treat himself. With a wave of his hand, the entire body of the Howling Wolf King was unceremoniously put away and stored in the space of Lingju. Immediately without hesitation, he walked towards the shed that had been hit by the evil dog before. Boom! There was a lot of debris in front of him. When Yi Tianxing encountered it, he kicked it with his feet and kicked all the obstacles in front of him. In the process, there was no pause in the body. In a moment, the collapsed debris cleaned things up directly. On that whole body, except for the green fur on the paw legs of the 4 dogs, no evil dog with any fur was also present in front of him. No one would like it, even if he glanced at it in a mood of disgust. Will drive out, even beat directly. Not many people are willing to look at it more. This evil dog is not dead. But even if he didn't die, when he was kicked by the Wolf King, he died frequently. He panted in his mouth, and vomited blood. Some small visceral fragments were mixed in the blood. The bones had broken. Lying on the ground, there seems to be no way to continue to get up. When he saw the heavy objects being lifted away, the evil dog gasped and opened his eyes for a glance at Yi Tianxing. There was a wise light in those eyes. That spirituality is very strong. Both hind legs seemed to fracture. But as soon as I felt active, I immediately crawled forward with 2 fairly good front legs, leading the body to move forward a little bit, and the range and distance of the move were short each time. Moreover, when moving, the injury in the body will definitely cause great pain, and it can be seen that its body is shaking. As you can imagine, moving this way is definitely painful. However, this did not stop it, but moved a little bit and crawled. When people around Yi Tianxing saw Yi Tianxing, their eyes had already gathered. Looking into his eyes, there was awe, worship, and respect. That's the look at the strong. When he saw that Yi Tianxing would go to this evil dog specifically, he couldn't help looking at the evil dog. Seeing the little dog moving forward, the hearts of many people could not help being touched. Because many people have already shown that the direction in which this evil dog is crawling is just like the position of an already cold little boy. It's a dog egg. This dog was with the dog egg before. It seems that when he first came to this world, the dog egg saw this evil dog chased and expelled, and brought it with him and gave it back to him. It's a half-ho. Quote. I also remember that this evil dog and the dog's egg are inseparable. If there is anything to eat, the dog will be given a portion. Everyone can't eat enough. The two of them are also dependent on each other. I did not expect that a child as good as a dog egg would die like this. It is really a crime. Quote. This dog's egg is called Little Green because it has green hair on its feet. However, many people say that the dog is unknown. It is a monster. There is no good thing when it comes to this dog. The people who drove it before seems to be dead. Some died of starvation, some were killed by wolves. Quote. The dog must be unknown. How good the dog's eggs are, such an inexplicable death. This is an unknown dog. However, this dog's relationship with the dog's eggs seems to be real. The dog is afraid that he will not survive. This is to die by the dog's eggs. Some people whispered, but they all have deep fears about this evil dog, and even when they see the evil dog, they avoid the body subconsciously further away, for fear of contaminating any unknown air. Let yourself die somehow. This dog is also quite famous in Yangjia village. It's just that there is notoriety, www.novelhall.com, no one dares to approach it easily. But the process by which the evil dog crawled towards the carcass of the dog egg was full of shock, making people's hearts shake. This kind of will, this attachment, cannot be achieved without a kind of obsession. Okay, Yi Tianxing saw and took a step forward. Mr. Yi, don't go, this is an unknown dog. Lai He subconsciously stretched his hands to Yi Tianxing and said loudly. The evil dog seemed to hear it, and turned to look at Yi Tianxing, and also looked at Lai He. Then, he continued to crawl forward. 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches. Behind him, there was a deep blood stain. This is the blood flowing from it. To be continued. Chapter 91. Eat green hair, long green hair. The evil dog never stopped, moving forward again and again. Maybe every time it moves, it will cause the bones in the body to have terrible pain again, and it still does not stop it. The eyes are always staring forward, staring there with an icy body. Shao close hollow corner bracket say % omega. Every inch moved makes the people around them feel a kind of attack in their hearts. This attachment, this firmness, this belief that never gives up. Wouldn't it be more noble than man? If you are in a place, can you do it yourself? Many people's faces were shocked, and now they are not as good as a dog. Time seemed to be meaningless at this moment. Under the eyes of a pair of eyes, the evil dog finally crawled to the dog egg's body, moved the body close to the dog egg, lay on the ground, stuck out his tongue, and licked the cold face of the dog egg. I glanced at the dog egg, and his gaze was more complicated than that of a person. Then, I closed my eyes like this, waiting for death to come. Good loyal dog. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, walked nearby, and said slowly. He saw the evil dog's gaze, his spiritual gaze, and obviously he was not inferior to humans. It can be guessed that the wisdom of this evil dog may not be below human beings. It has wisdom and spirituality. The evil dog did not pay attention to the surrounding eyes, nor did it care about the humans around. Lying on the cold body of the dog egg, its heart was also cold, and it had a deep blame. I remember my life in my mind. Remember, it's very old. It used to be just a wild dog from the beginning, but for more than a month, its dog mother was surrounded by other wild dogs in a process of finding food, not only taking away food, she also bitten all over her body, and when she came back, she was fed the last milk, and she died like that. Without the mother of a dog. It had to go out and find something to eat. It's so small that it can't **** food from other similar ones. All it can do is eat everything you can, hungry every day. It was a difficult life, but it survived, and, growing in adversity, made it smarter than its peers. When he grows up, he starts to go in and out of the village, secretly biting the chickens and ducks in the farmer's house at night and dragging them away to eat. Every time I do it, it's late at night, and when the chickens and ducks are culled, they bite directly towards the neck. Let those chickens and ducks die without even crying out. Turn around and drag away. And, definitely not from the same house. In those days, it was full. It can be full, and also has rich nutrition, which makes it stronger in the shortest time. More robust than other competitors. At that time, the first thing to do was to stray all the stray dogs and wild dogs that had previously besieged the mother of the dog, and even eat their bodies. Into a veritable dog. Who dares to bully it, it will eat them and kill them. At that time, it was so fierce that mentioning it could stop the children from crying. In such days, it has spent more than 10 years. Then, it is old, it has seen the prosperity of the human world, it has seen many things, it has seen the darkness born of human beings, and the evil in human beings has become more intelligent. Time dies, but it can always live. It is a legend among wild dogs. You don't even need to do anything, there will be a wild dog bringing food to you for enjoyment. However, it is lonely. Those dogs are so stupid that they can't be integrated with them at all. That kind of loneliness, the wisdom of the more common wild dogs, keeps them in the same class, just like standing up. If nothing else, it will die old, or in the hands of other wild dogs, or even humans. Will bury the wilderness. But it was unexpected. Now, suddenly, the whole world has changed and become completely different. I also went to a more magical place, and the atmosphere between heaven and earth became completely different. With a group of people. There are many powerful beast monsters around. It felt that, outside, he could die at any time. It didn't dare to leave and followed humans closely. However, when it fell down, it saw something. That thing was just a hoe, it was moldy, and it had grown green hair. It looked very weird, but it exudes a strange smell that makes it impossible to resist. At the time, it didn't know what was going on. When he saw it, he rushed forward without hesitation and swallowed the thing. But if swallowed, it regrets it. The weird thing with green hair, immediately after swallowing it, it began to have severe pain in the whole body, itching on the body, and then it became frightened. Its own hair began to fall off, and soon became full bare, with no trace of hair. Turned into a bald dog. At that moment, it felt like the whole day was dark. Moreover, when the surrounding humans saw it again, they immediately became extremely disgusted. Disgustingly drove it out. But there was a little boy who did not fear it and hated it. Instead, he divided the only food in his hands into 2 halves, one for him and one for himself. That food portion is very small, a child can't eat enough, and it has to be divided into 2 halves. It is even more impossible to make it full. But that small portion of food made its cold heart warm instantly. Humans call it unknown and are monsters. But no one dared to fight it and expel it, just to avoid it after seeing it. Because the humans who hit it died inexplicably these days. Some people died inexplicably. They ate something and were choked directly by food. There are those who slaughtered outside in the hands of monsters. Someone wrestled directly and hit his head on a sharp object, and died on the spot. It's strange to die, but it is definitely not what it does. It doesn't know what's going on. However, green dog hair began to grow on the 4 paws. It is completely different from the original hair. It did not believe that those people would die because of themselves. But, today, the doggy is dead. I am an unknown dog. The dog egg called me Little Green. The vicious dog lay quietly beside the dog egg and felt the passage of life in the body quietly. It hoped to be a good dog and die beside the dog egg. According to human speaking, it might be together in the next life. Do you want to live? While the evil dog was preparing to wait for death to come, suddenly, a voice sounded in the ear. This sound made it open its eyes, looked at it, saw Yi Tianxing didn't know when, already here. But then, you have to close your eyes again. This man knows that he killed the Wolf King and avenged the dog eggs, and he got himself out of the abandoned debris. Moreover, there was no disgust in his eyes. But it didn't want to respond now, it just wanted to die quietly. You are smart, I can see that you can understand human words. After a person dies, there is a soul. In this world, there is reincarnation. After a person dies, the soul will enter into reincarnation. Reincarnation will regenerate. Don't you want to live and find a reincarnation? Yi Tianxing said slowly, looking at the evil dog's eyes shining. The evil dog heard that the eyes that were to be closed suddenly opened again and stared at Yi Tianxing. It knew the legends of human beings, and the heart that had been dead was also active. Yeah, dead, and in reincarnation, I don't know anything, but if I live, maybe I can find a reincarnation in the future. But it feels that life in the body is constantly disappearing. You are special. If you live, your future will be wonderful. Wait quietly, or choose to live, it's up to you. To live, just drink this bowl of water. Yi Tianxing reached out and took out a water bowl, which contained a bowl of water, and placed it in front of the evil dog. Whether or not to drink, it depends on its own choice. This is the moon well water. With the injury of this evil dog and its own conviction, if you drink it, you will never die, and your life will definitely be saved. This dog is special. This dog has great credit for killing the Wolf King. After doing this, Yi Tianxing didn't say much. At the village entrance, Yang Yanping and Yang Yi have returned to the village with the support of soldiers. Brother Yi, this time Yang Jiaqun survived. Thanks to Yi's help. If not Yi, I am afraid that the entire Yang family, and the tens of thousands of villagers and people, will all die under the wolves. That Wolf King is too scary, no one is its opponent, especially in the evening, it will definitely be more powerful. Yang Yanping bowed sincerely to Yi Tianxing. Yi Tianxing quickly stepped forward to support him, without letting him worship. Looking at the injuries on them, it was not light at all. There is nothing to be thankful for. After all, I am also a human race. I am also in this Yangjia village. I am hostile to the beasts themselves. It is only reasonable that my wolf cubs will kill me, and I can't be arrested. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. General Yang, I have some healing medicines here, which can be used to heal wounds, and can be used to treat internal sacral injuries. However, I don't have much, so I need to save some. I see the injured here. There are a lot of soldiers and common people. The sooner the treatment, the better. Quote. When the voice fell, www.novelhall.com, a wave of pure water plastic bucket appeared in front of him. This was specially installed before and was placed in the Lingju space just in case. For this reason, most of the well water in the entire moonwell was emptied. Every drop of this well water can accelerate wound healing, hemostasis and muscle. Every drop is a treasure. Right now. Definitely a life-saving medicine. Pour a cup from the bucket with a cup. When brought to Yang Yi, his injuries were already extremely serious. Yang Yi didn't hesitate about it. He took a sip. With this mouthful, I immediately felt that the injuries in my body were alleviated instantly, and the severe pain from the internal coughs began to disappear. The whole spirit was refreshed. Take a drop of water and place it on a wound. The drop of water fell on the wound, and a cool breath came immediately. The wound healed to the naked eye, and it was closed. Although it was not fully recovered, it had stopped bleeding. Recommend an old author's new book, My Hero System, very good, old driver, trustworthy, link, 103,714,794 to be continued. Chapter 92, Everyone is like a dragon. Third more, please subscribe, brothers give some power. Fiction, asterisk. On the wound, a faint brilliance emerged. In this faint brilliance, the wound healed naturally, as if to get some mysterious power. The process is very magical. No gold sore medicine can compare with this. It's simply a weak explosion, and there is no qualification for comparison. This is a miracle-like treasure. The essence of the moon formed by the moon well condensing the moon. The wound has really healed, so amazing magic water, this is a medicine that can save lives. Yang Yi felt the miraculous power from the moon well water in his heart. He was even more shocked. Such strange treasures were impossible to see before. In the previous world, even the emperor would ignore it. Get it? This is the real magic drug. It's incredible that there is such a magical water between heaven and earth. It's great, Dad, I'll give you some medicine. Yang Yanping saw and showed joy. With their injuries, even if they don't die, there will be dark injuries on their bodies, which will definitely be a very troublesome thing in the future. In some places, even the whole flesh was torn off and shocking. Now with these moon wells, injuries can be healed without any hidden dangers. This process is much faster than normal recovery. I don't know how many times. Even the torn flesh and blood can heal in the shortest time and grow again. Originally, the village lacked medicine, but with this moon well water, many soldiers and ordinary people who would have died would survive. The significance of this is too great. Mayor Yi Village, Mr. Yang, thank you Mr. Dane. Yang Yi's face showed a positive color, and he bowed to Yi Tianxing cautiously and thanked him. This gratitude is sincere, without any other emotional purpose, just pure gratitude. General Yang is very polite. This is just what I should do. I think that as long as human beings encounter this situation, they will not stand idly by. In this troubled world, human races must support each other to truly survive. Yi Tianxing quickly lifted Yang Yi up. No, I must thank him. However, there is one thing that I want to entrust to Mr. Yi village, said Yang Yi Shenshang. General Yang, please, as long as I can do it, I will not quit. Yi Tianxing nodded. I hope Mayor Yi village can accept these villagers and people in front of me. Yang Yi said something shocking, even Yang Yanping was surprised, this incident was too sudden, he could not react. Why, hasn't Yangjiakyun been defended? The wolves have collapsed and the Wolf King has also been killed. In a short period of time, it is absolutely impossible for such a large wolf trouble to occur. There is a complete opportunity to continue building the village. Yi Tianxing, when I heard it, I already had speculation in my heart, but I still said in my mouth. What you said before, I seriously thought about it. You were right, you really take control and manage the forces of one side. You need to help a large number of people to survive and rebuild their homes. In peace, Yang may be able to do it. But it's not what I can do. It's not enough for me to feed and warm all the people. In today's situation, it's not what I can do. Instead, trust these people to be truly capable of living with them. In the hands of those who have a stable home. Quote. And this one is you. Yang Yi said word by word that a firm belief had been revealed in his voice. This will never change again. He already knows that under the moon blade of the Wolf King, Qian Tianqi has been damaged, which means that the entire village has been breached. At least, even if it can be restored, the time required will be too long. The key is that these Tian, although I know Qian Tianqi, there is not much Qian collected in Qian Tianqi. Because although there are many people in the village, there is no real stability. They see and eat enough or wear warm clothes. Like refugees, people's hearts are uncertain in where they come from. After seeing Yi Tianxing, he felt again that he really didn't seem to be suitable for being the master of a village. The people in the village cannot be allowed to live and work in peace, but Yang Yi would rather not be the master of this village, and would rather let this Yangjia village end here, leaving the people in the hands of those who can bring them a stable life. And Yi Tianxing is the best candidate that Yang Yi can think of. His sons, Yang Yanping and Yang Yanding, are all leading materials. For this kind of management and construction, it is definitely not good. Yi Tianxing not only established Xuanwang village by himself, but also allowed the villagers in the village to live and work in peace and contentment. Even the beasts outside can be resisted. As the village head, they can go out and walk around freely. These all show Yi Tianxing's ability to run the village, which is not twice as strong as him. Entrusted to Yi Tianxing, this is the best choice. Will General Yang think again? Think about it clearly. Although Yi Tianxing was happy, this was originally his purpose of coming to Yangjiakyun, but he said something. After all, eating pictures should not be too ugly. No, I think about it clearly. Yang Yi said decisively, and then turned his head to the villagers and people around him. The people around them obviously focused on them and heard some of the words they talked about. Fathers and gentlemen of this township, this one is the head of Xuanwang village, Yi Tianxing. His Xuanwang village is near here, not far from us. Yang was incompetent and could not bring a stable life to the villagers. Instead, he was frightened every day, and some people even starved to death. It really made Yang Yi feel guilty and awakened from his sleep. Thinking again and again, I feel that this is not for everyone. The ability to set up a stable home and live and work in peace is now making the people suffer so much. Yang Yi is ashamed. Quote. During the conversation, Yang Yi's face also showed shame. This is how he felt from the heart. General Yang, it's none of your business. If it wasn't for General Yang to gather us together and Yang Jiazhen to protect us, I'm afraid we all have died in the hands of those beasts and monsters. Where can we live now? Said the people emotionally. Yes, it's all because of this world. This world is too dangerous. There are monsters everywhere. If it weren't for Yang Jiazhen, we would have died. The general doesn't need to blame himself at all. Someone shouted. What Yang Yi did to the people in the village was naturally seen by others. Tens of thousands of people can only starve a small number of people to death. This is a very good situation. Besides, Yang Yi and Yang Jiazhen are outside. The scene of the ***** slaughter with the beast, they are witnessing it. Even in the wolves, all of them were buried in the battlefield. Those pictures are still vivid. Thank you all folks, but I have decided. I believe that under the leadership of Mr. Yi village, everyone will definitely be able to live a better life in Xuanwang village and get the life they really want. In the future, there will be no Yangjia village. Quote. There was also a bit of decadence between Yang Yi's looks. After all, this Yangjia village was built by him, and he looked at it. It also contained strong feelings, pinning countless hopes, and did not expect that he would not be able to persist in the end. To this day, my mind is even more complicated. But he has the decisiveness and determination of the soldiers. Yi Tianxing saw that he knew Yang Yi had reached his own limit, and with a movement in his heart, he naturally took a step forward. This step immediately made all villagers focus on him. There is expectation in the eyes, there is bewilderment, there is also hope, there is surprise. I only saw Yi Tianxing's powerful strength before, but now I know that Yi Tianxing is still the owner of a village. Moreover, even Yang Yi entrusted all the villagers in the entire Yangjia village to him. There is curiosity, there is awe, there is expectation. Dear folks, my identity, everyone should already know that my Xuanwang village is on the other end of this jungle and is also in this valley. Since General Yang has entrusted you to me, then I am easy. The heavens will not shirk from it. My Xuanwang village really needs everyone. But my Xuanwang village is not a paradise, there is no bliss. Quote. Some are just enthusiasm for building homes together, and some are just beliefs against fierce beasts, monsters, and all kinds of disasters. I can't protect everyone with my own strength. I can't kill all the beasts and monsters alone. But, you guys can do it. Yi Tianxing's discourse is not exhilarating, it can only be said to be simple, but inside, it contains a sincerity that anyone can feel. Every sentence made the villagers and people listen very carefully and understand. This is not exciting enough, but it makes people know that Yi Tianxing arranged for them. You can see what your future looks like. So, www.novelhall.com, they listened very carefully and really listened to their hearts. There was even an urge in my heart, a feeling of being valued. I can't protect everyone, I can protect everyone, but I can give everyone my own strength. I will give everyone a practice method so that everyone has the opportunity to become a monk. Everyone has the strength to protect himself. Everyone is not for themselves, and is destroyed by nature. I hope that everyone can fight for their own survival. I hope that everyone can continue to strengthen themselves. Yi Tianxing uttered this voice aloud, letting it reverberate throughout the void. This is the worst era. This is the best era. It is an unprecedented era. There has never been a world where everyone can have the opportunity to cultivate and the opportunity to become a monk. But Yi Tianxing dares to give, and is willing to give. If you are given the opportunity and don't know how to work hard, then it really should be destroyed. Dead, it is not worthy of sympathy. In the village, after hearing all the people, they could not help but stir up a rough sea. The original worldview and original cognition were completely subverted in Yi Tianxing's words. To be continued. Chapter 93, Dog Talk. First more, please subscribe, support. Fiction. The heart is even more fiery. From the description of Yi Tianxing, the attraction to them is really too great. In his mouth, everyone can practice and everyone can get the practice. That's the legendary way to become a monk. Everyone can have the power, even as powerful as Yi Tianxing. Power. This possibility made everyone's eyes light up. In this world, no one can refuse the desire for power and strength. Yi Tianxing could not give them absolute protection, and even sent them to the battlefield in person, to fight with the beasts in person, to get food for themselves, to cultivate resources, to eat, and to wear. You have to make your own efforts. But it will give them the strength and opportunity to survive. Based on this alone, no ordinary people can refuse. Especially those who have personally faced the crisis of life and death, and have felt that their lives are dying, maybe even more intense in strength, as if they were a drowning man and caught a straw. As long as there is a chance, no one will give up. Yi Tianxing directly revealed that following him and going to Xuanwang village, everyone can practice and everyone can get the exercises. Become a monk. He can do this step. How is it possible that everyone in Xuanwang village can practice, and the practice is so precious, how can he make the practice public? This kind of courage is by no means ordinary. Quote. Yang Yi heard that the pupils of the eyes couldn't help but condense slightly, showing a shocked expression. There is no book in Yangjiakyun that is really suitable for them to practice. Even if they know the realm of practice, they cannot practice and can only continue to practice marksmanship. The only one is still practicing exercises, which is only suitable for Yang Yanding. It is conceivable that the precious exercises are definitely not so common as imagined, and not everyone can own them. Even if it is an active method, which one is not held in your hands, hold it tightly, for fear of being known by others. Where is the point of being open to make such a move? It is definitely a magnificent person. This attitude can be admirable. Xuanwang village can practice for everyone, and there are skills to repair. Yang Yanping's eyes were also brightened. Seeing the second brother Yang Yanding's strength leaps and bounds after practicing, King Konglong Elephant Gong, he is more amazing and has more divine power. He also knows the monk's affairs, and he becomes stronger for the cultivation. Now that I have heard Yi Tianxing's apparently effective method, and it is not undeniable, I can't help but give birth to a hint of ideas. This was true even after the general Yang Jiazhen around him heard it. Soldiers, the desire for strength, to become stronger, is far stronger than ordinary people. They can really feel the change brought about by strength. Strength is the root, and the strongest is the unchanging truth in the army. If these villagers and ordinary people can practice and become monks one by one, wouldn't they become stronger than them? Whoever protects them is another way of saying it. As soldiers, they really want to be protected by the people. They will definitely find a stone and hit it directly. That face is too big to lose. Is it really possible to practice? Just like the legendary practitioners, they can have magical powers and fly around the world. Can we also? Xuanwang village, maybe entering Xuanwang village is a good choice. I believe that General Yang will not harm us. Many people already have a great yearning for going to Xuanwang village. Yangjia village is now in ruins. Moreover, Yang Yi has no plans to continue the reconstruction. It is an inevitable thing to go to Xuanwang village. There are now, just look forward. Mr. Yi, I'd like to go to Xuanwang village. Maybe I can't do anything else, but cooking for everyone can still be done. Lai He heard it and stood up without hesitation, said decisively. Originally had the intention to follow, and now there is such a turning point, naturally it was grasped without hesitation. Fear of missing precious opportunities. We are also willing to join Xuanwang village. Yes, please Mr. Yi to keep us. When other people heard it, they all spoke up. There is no resistance to joining Xuanwang village. Although Yangjia village blessed them, they did not give them a final stable life. Now that Yangjia village is destroyed, Yang Yi entrusted them to Yi Tianxing. Naturally, no one hesitated to choose to join Xuanwang village. For a while, the respondent gathered. Yi Tianxing responded with a smile and nodded in agreement. Turning to Yang Yi, he bowed down and said, General Yang, Tianxing hopes that the general will take Yang Jiazhen to Xuanwang village together to build a real home where people can live and work in peace and prosperity. Xuanwang village, Zheng, you need a general like a general. You and I will guard these people together in this troubled world and live better. Quote. In words, he made a sincere invitation to Yang Yi and the entire Yang family. He saw the combat effectiveness of Yang Jiazhen with his own eyes. Moreover, what he valued most was not the combat strength, but the will of the soldiers possessed by the soldiers. Even in a desperate situation, they would not shrink back, even if fear, even when facing the enemy, he will wave the steel will of the spear in his hand. Such soldiers and soldiers only need to get the cultivation method. Can grow up in the shortest time. Once a monk, the combat effectiveness of this army will change dramatically. At that time, this army was bound to become the most solid backing for Xuanwang village. The sharpest war spear. Dad, Brother Yi is right, Yangjia village has been destroyed, and the people have been entrusted to Xuanwang village by your father. We have no other place to go in the future. We might as well join Brother Yi's village and continue to protect the villagers' people. Yang Yanping turned his thoughts, and immediately began to persuade. After hearing Yi Tianxing's remarks that Xuanwang village could be practiced, he had a little expectation of going to Xuanwang village. The weakness in the face of those beasts and monsters made him deeply aware that it is absolutely impossible to move without strength in this world. Yes, Dad, we have already joined Brother Yi's village. Isn't your ideal to want people to live and work in peace? Brother Yi can make this dream come true. Yang Yanding also agreed. The Yangjia village was destroyed, and Yang Jiazhen was not returned. When hearing the situation in Xuanwang village, many soldiers in the army were longing for it. Moreover, Yi Tianxing even took out treasures such as moonwell water, allowing many soldiers to survive from death. This kind of affection is also remembered in his heart. There is no resistance to Yi Tianxing's solicitation. Soldiers cannot be separated from the people. Mayor Yi village, in the future, Yang Yi and Yang Jiazhen under me will need Mr. Yi to take more responsibility. Yang Yi took a deep breath and bowed to Yi Tianxing for a week to meet. This also means that Yang Yi has decided to follow up to Xuanwang village. After all, he still had anxiety in his heart. He didn't see it with his own eyes. He entrusted all the people to Yi Tianxing, and he was not completely relieved. Red mouth and white teeth, pretty words, anyone can say. It's great. I can have General Yang in Xuanwang village, and it will definitely increase strength and strength. With General Yang's heritage, you can choose to practice exercises immediately after returning to the village. In military exercises, the stronger the combative spirit in your body, the faster you can cultivate. At that time, your strength will inevitably advance by leaps and bounds. Quote, the generals in the entire Yang family can also make their strength soar. Become stronger. Yi Tianxing heard and smiled. Although he knew that Yang Yi hadn't fully recognized it yet, he believed that as long as he entered Xuanwang village together, the entire Yang family would eventually surrender and become a part of the village. Not afraid that they will run away. Treat people with sincerity, people naturally return with sincerity. For the morals of the ancients, Yi Tianxing trusts far more than modern people. Come on, generals, and meet with the village chief Yi. Yang Yi nodded and greeted the general Yang Jiazhen behind him. I've seen Mayor Yi village. At the same time, General Yang Jiazhen paid tribute to him. This is already a preliminary determination of the master-slave identity. Wong Wong. Just then, a dog barking came. Look down the sound. Next to the dog's egg's body, the evil dog who had previously closed his eyes and waited for death opened his mouth and drank the bowl of moon well water in one sip, until all was licked. The effect of the moon well water is obviously quite amazing. The vicious dog that could only lie on the ground suddenly stood up, and the injuries in his body seemed to have recovered amazingly. Even broken bones are healing. I don't know if it's the magic of the well water or the mysterious nature of the evil dog, and most of his injuries have been recovered. Wong, I. A dog's bark from the evil dog suddenly mixed with a human voice without warning. This is obviously abnormal. At this point, the evil dog was also very clear, and immediately stopped, with shock in his eyes. I heard you right, www.novelhall.com, this dog, he spoke. Is there something wrong with my ears? How can a dog talk? Monster, this dog has become a monster. I knew that this dog must be a monster, and now it is true that it can talk. This is a bad dog. The people around were also stunned and shocked, and quickly shunned away. Looking at the evil dog in horror, the look was no different from watching a monster. However, they did not escape. After seeing all kinds of beasts and monsters one after another, people's psychological endurance has increased significantly. This dog can really speak. I guess that's right, it's not easy. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed, and he didn't feel that he was hallucinating. This dog did speak out. He can be sure that this should be a change born by the evil dog. A bowl of moonwell water does not give animals the ability to speak. To be continued. Chapter 94, Green Emperor. The green gas emerging from the evil dogs before is very weird. Those green gases are entangled in the Wolf King, and then the Wolf King has one after another accidents, and the accidents that could not have occurred have all appeared strangely, indirectly letting the death of the Wolf King was awkward, without death, and even death was inexplicable, it was scary. Omega small, say. Moreover, after the death of the Wolf King, the green entanglement on his body disappeared and disappeared. It seems that this dog is really amazing. Moon well water can't let it speak, spit out words, but it can do it. Moreover, the injuries on his body are dissipating and recovering at an alarming degree. Vomit. The evil dog suddenly opened its mouth and spit out, and a small bone spit out directly from the mouth. Crossbone. Yi Tianxing saw an idea pop up in his mind. There is no way for animals to speak, because they have a transverse bone in their throat, which has no effect at other times, that is, the voice cannot be changed, so once it is difficult for a beast to speak, unless it can directly refining the transverse bones in the body. This process requires powerful strength and even certain wisdom. In order to allow the spirit beast mount to speak, the trainer deliberately created a bizarre elixir named Wadandan. It is specially used to remove the horizontal bones in the spirit beast, and it can spit words. Bone Dan is an extremely precious treasure for many ferocious beasts, even monsters. Difficult to find, it needs a precious elixir in it. Now, this evil dog apparently has not eaten Wagyu Dan, but spit out a bone, which seems to be the transverse bone in the body. Did it happen that the Wolf King broke the horizontal bone in his body with a kick? A guess emerged from Yi Tianxing's mind. This is not impossible. There are many animals and fierce beasts, because of accidental conditions, the transverse bones in the body are broken, and the ability to speak can be obtained in advance. The broken bones that are now spitting out of the evil dog's mouth are obviously most likely transverse bones. I can speak, the vicious dog murmured hesitantly. I can finally talk to people. Great, I can really speak. I am indeed the emperor of the dog family. I can do things that other dogs cannot. I can speak human languages. I am a genius. Dog, yes, you must have a name. The genius and natural king of my dog family can still speak now, then you must have a loud name. If you say it, you will be shocked. First name. As soon as the evil dog confirmed that he could speak, he immediately showed a strong interest and excitement. He continuously uttered a sentence in his mouth. At the beginning, he was still stuttered, but the more he said, the more fluent and smooth he became. Moreover, as soon as the flood is opened, the opening becomes endless. The dog egg gave me a name, Xiaolu. However, I'm the king of dogs, how can I call such an imposing name? Xiaolu can't. Let me think about it, you can't throw away a dog egg for me. I'm the king of dogs again, Little Green, Dog King, Green Dog King, Green King. That's a good name, Green Emperor, okay, I will be called Green Emperor in the future. I am Green Emperor. The wicked dog roared from the sky and murmured on his body. Looks very happy. Happy to have a new name. This is a big thing. The name is to go out. It is its own signboard. The name is not loud. How can it show the distinguished identity of the king among its dogs and the general wisdom? This dog, there is too much. The people around heard it, only to feel that there were tens of millions of flies in their ears. Even if the dog can speak, he can still talk to himself and say a series of words all at once. The dense roots bombarded one after the other. Moreover, its voice also carried a husky burst of sound, making its voice even more unpleasant. Green Emperor, a dog dares to be emperor. What kind of dog is this? Is there anything wrong? Dogs are so smart. I have heard of dogs being human, but they are not so smart. Does this dog talk? Someone couldn't help covering his ears and subconsciously avoided it. It's endless as soon as you say it, is there such a dog? Some people have already looked at the evil dog. No, it should be called the Green Emperor, a little fearful, and their bodies are bursting. It really couldn't stand the bombardment. This dog is really interesting. Yi Tianxing also saw this scene, but did not expect this dog to have such a side. Just now I could talk, and immediately crackled a lot, and gave myself a name. It's amazing. Your name is Yi Tianxing. Before that, you killed that long white wolf, avenged the dog eggs, and gave me a drink of water. I will remember it. I will definitely repay you in the future. By the way, I want to repay you. I have heard from human beings, the salvation of life is to be reported to Yongquan. What is Yongquan? I am going to pee you. This is not good. No, this is not good. Well, I have also heard people say that life-saving grace must be respected. But I am a male, not a mother, and you are not a dog. It is not my appetite, what I am looking for must be a dog beauty, must be white and tender. White and beautiful, if the princess among dogs. Deserves the status of my Green Emperor. Deserves the smartest dog in the dog family. Quote. It won't work, what can I do? I will never be ungrateful, I must think of a way. Otherwise, I am sure I can't eat well, I can't sleep well. That's sure for my hair growth impact, the impact is too great, my hair is too small, I want to grow hair. Green hair is definitely unique among dogs. I am the dog king. Quote. The Green Emperor came to Yi Tianxing, looked up, and immediately started talking. This opening did not give Yi Tianxing any chance to intervene, and immediately it was a series of crackling words, cannot stop at all. Even if it was Yi Tianxing, at this moment, his face turned black on the spot. Especially when I heard what the Green Emperor said, there were countless flies flying in my head. His face became ugly. I never expected that the words of this dog would be so bad. Wait a minute, I don't need you to repay. It's just a matter of raising a hand. Saving you depends on your loyalty to the master. Yi Tianxing managed to say a word. Master, yes, dog eggs. You said earlier that there is reincarnation and soul in this world. Dog eggs are dead, will they really enter into reincarnation? Can't you lie to me? If you lie to me, I will be directly in pee under your feet, pee your leg. Quote. When the emperor heard it, he immediately stared at Yi Tianxing and said aloud, do you know where the dog egg will return to, and whether it will be reborn into an adult? I heard humans say that reincarnation is a technical job, not necessarily an adult. Yes, it may turn into stones, into trees, chickens, ducks or whatever. Quote. Actually, I hope that the dog egg will become a dog and become our dog family. I am the emperor of the dog family. If I take care of it, the dog egg will also become a dog emperor. Let us be the emperor and king of the dog family. Quote. No, I don't know what the dog egg thinks. Maybe the dog egg doesn't want to be a dog, but also wants to be a human. It must be a good birth. However, how can I find the reincarnation of the dog egg, and I don't know what he will become? After I find it, I must make the dog egg the most powerful person in the world and the most distinguished person in the world. No need to worry about eating, I want him to wear the best, eat the best, live the best. Quote. By the way, I don't know if he was male or female after he was born. The Green Emperor chattered again. And, when you say it, you immediately immerse yourself in your thoughts. The words are endless. Whatever you think in your heart, you just say it. The speed is still too fast for people to get in. It's as if the bombers are bombing continuously. The corners of Yi Tianxing's mouth kept pumping and his eyelids kept beating. Yang Yi, Yang Yanping, and Yan Yan set 3. They unconsciously backed out, and they didn't know when they retreated. But the bruised green tendons on their faces could see that just now their feelings were definitely not much better, and they did not consciously look at the emperor with a hint of fear. Until now I felt a buzzing in my head. Shut up. Yi Tianxing twitched his mouth several times, and finally opened his mouth to stop drinking, directly interrupting the continuous voice of Li Wang. Now, you stay with me aside. I don't want to hear you speak now. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and forcibly suppressed the true pressure of the body's tumble. He was afraid he would choke the dog directly with one foot. The Green Emperor heard, raised his eyes, and his eyes were full of innocent looking at Yi Tianxing. Is it guilty to speak? Thinking, when your mouth moves, you have to open your mouth. Wow, however, before waiting for it to open, you can see that a black and white yin and yang lock has appeared out of thin air. It appeared in front of the Green Emperor in an unprecedented degree, quickly binding the Green Emperor's mouth, leaving it open. Make a sound, www.novelhall.com, only whining. The look was even more innocent. Call. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, and a look of relief appeared on his face. Now, in my ear, I was finally quiet. Seeing this scene, the people around them also exhaled subconsciously, their faces full of relief. That hoarse voice, talking continuously, is just a kind of hellish torture. To continue, someone is ready to directly take a stick and knock it directly on his head. It is best to faint in the past, and no longer need to listen to the endless talking. Even Yang Yi's father and son showed a light look. Looking into the emperor's eyes with fear. General Yang, please take account, and we will take the villagers together and pass from the jungle. Return to Xuanwang village. Yi Tianxing exhaled. To be continued. Chapter 95. 1 Military Barracks. 3rd. Seek subscription recommendations. Omega Novel is immediately a new week. For recommendations, various votes. Close black lens bracket. Without the voice of the Green Emperor chattering in his ears, Yi Tianxing instantly felt that the whole world was so beautiful, and this feeling was truly unprecedented. Before the Green King bombardment, this feeling was completely absent. Only now do I know how quiet and wonderful it is to be quiet. It is a supreme enjoyment. Before, I never thought, this guy, it's okay not to say a word, it is a utterance, a voice so unpleasant, and a utterance which is the most terrifying thing. Just now he really had the urge to choke it. If there wasn't a hint of reason, I wouldn't use a yin and yang lock, but a yin and yang scissors, and cut it directly. However, even Yi Tianxing didn't show up. When he tied the Green Emperor with a yin and yang lock, a green ray of green gas flowed out from him, and he dumped into his body silently. The greenness was not strong, and the speed was fast, even Yi Tianxing didn't notice it. It had already penetrated into the body and disappeared. Well, first use these magical divine water to heal the injuries of soldiers and villagers. At least recover some, take a rest for the night. The sky is already dark. If it moves at night, it is too dangerous. Yang Industry heard, Shen Sheng said. General Yang was very thoughtful, and he took a rest here for a night. I believe that the defeat of the wolves should make the nearby beasts dare not act rashly. This night, with a little attention, there should be no major problems. Question. Yi Tianxing nodded in approval. It is not suitable for going out, especially in the jungle. No one knows what kind of feral beast will come out. He is not afraid of being alone, but with so many people here together, he really can't guarantee how many people can reach Xuanlong village alive. Staying for one night is impossible to change. Yan Ping, Yan Ding, you are here to give the wounded soldiers and civilians the damage, first restore the injury and stabilize it. Save your life, then use it first. Yi Yi quickly ordered. Yang Yanping and they all did it decisively. To do these things, they are already familiar with it. Very skilled. Many wounded soldiers and ordinary people are healing under the magical power of the moon well water and recovering from injuries. The picture is very magical. The people around them also started to divide their labor. Pack up the destroyed shed. Someone started firing. Set up the cauldron and start boiling water. Some people went out in droves and dragged in the dead wolves. Each of these wolves was huge. Like war horses, they had a lot of meat on their bodies and they could fill up their stomachs. The number of giant wolves killed this time is quite large. Together, they are enough to make people in the whole village eat a full meal. Someone took a knife and started to peel off the wolf skin and shave off the wolf meat, even the bones will not be wasted. This is a good material for soup. Everyone's face was filled with excitement. The previous death did not cause much sorrow to everyone. At the same time, not many people knew each other. They were from heaven and earth. They were originally strangers. Did not cultivate a real deep feelings, even if it is a war death, there is only a kind of sad sadness of rabbits and foxes, which will not last long. They also need to continue to live and live better. Filling your stomach is the biggest thing. Many people have not eaten a good meal since they arrived in the new world. It just happened to be a good meal this time. Wolf meat is a good thing, it can make up the 5 internal organs and give birth to the essence. Tonic essence. Of course, there are many ways to eat and many ways to eat. At present, the conditions are limited. Roasting wolf meat and eating broth are the most feasible methods. Mr. Yi, do you want me to make a good meal for you? The body of the little silver wolf before is the top ingredients and can cook the best food. The body of the little silver wolf has been brought back. Quote. Lai He came to Yi Tianxing and said. It can be seen that the body of the little silver wolf has been brought back and is now placed in the village. However, this is the booty of Yi Tianxing, and no one dares to move yet. Well, in this case, please trouble me with a table, make more, wait for General Yang to eat them together. The meat of the Xiaoyu silver wolf should be different from other wolf meat. I really look forward to this. Quote. Yi Tianxing heard Lai He's words. Immediately, I remembered the food I had eaten before, and the taste buds began to produce a lot of saliva. The desire for food is once again aroused. At the end of the meal, the meat of Xiaoyu silver wolf is the top ingredient to look forward to. Well, this howling silver wolf is different from an unusual giant wolf, and the meat quality is definitely the best. I am going to add its bones and wolf meat to make a wolf pork rib soup, then slice the wolf meat and braised it. Cooking a piece of braised pork. Quote. The most delicious thing on a wolf is wolf heart. As long as wolf heart can cook well, it is supremely delicious. I am going to use wolf heart to reward wolf lung and make a wolf heart and lung slice. When Lai He talked about food, he suddenly became endless. All kinds of cooking methods were extremely skillful. He opened his mouth. When he saw the ingredients, he had already deduced how to use them in his mind to cook the best. Top cuisine. He wants to make food that Yi Tianxing can't stop. Push your ability to the limit. Top ingredients such as Xiaoyu silver wolf are the best gourmet ingredients. The body of this silver moon wolf is left to you, and I hope to taste the most delicious food. Yi Tianxing heard and gave these to Lai He without hesitation. Professional matters should be left to professionals. This is the point he always insists on. He likes to eat but can't make the best food. It is wise to hand it to the top chefs naturally. Please wait a moment, Mr. Yi. Lai He heard, and immediately smiled confidently, his eyes lit up. Sharpen his sword, ready to show off his skills. Cook a table of top cuisine. Watching Lai He go busy, preparing various cooking tools and accessories. Yi Tianxing took out a bottle of water, which was the moon well water. In this assassination, he also suffered a lot of damage, and the well water could recover his injury. Grunt, opened his mouth and poured water into his mouth. But all of a sudden a look of difference appeared on his face. Reached out and put it in the end, fiddled with the teeth, took it out, and suddenly saw that a small grain of sand appeared in his hands. Just this grain of sand got into the teeth. Let the teeth tremble a bit. Why is there sand in mineral water? Drinking pure water can jam your teeth. Is there anything wrong? Yi Tianxing looked at the sand that he pulled out with a cry and a smile, and frowned slightly. Drinking sand out of mineral water is something I have never heard of before. Really can plug your teeth. How unlucky this is. Is it related to the Green Emperor? I was just penetrated into the body by the green gas on his body. Yi Tianxing looked subconsciously at the Green Emperor, and the Green Emperor was lying on the ground with a look of anger, still staring angrily at Yi Tianxing. Seeing it, I recalled the tragic experience of the Wolf King before. The mind could not help but burst. Secretly gave birth to a hint of fear. A hint of vigilance. Mr. Yi is careful. Just then, an exclamation came. Look at it quickly. All I saw was that he was squatting beside the little silver wolf, and quickly separated the flesh from the bone with a boning knife. However, he seemed to want to try how hard the silver wolf's bones were cut across the silver wolf's skull, and then a silvery white light flashed across the skull, and then the boning knife was stabbed. The huge force crashed out. The direction in which Bengfei flew out was smashing towards Yi Tianxing. Yi Tianxing only saw a blade of light flashing, and the boning knife had appeared in front of him. Click. Instinctively took a step to the side. The body was slightly on one side, and in between, the blade was avoided, but still swept across the side of the head. A ray of black was cut off directly. Dangerous avoidance of this fly. It's dangerous. He saw, cold sweat dripping. It really has something to do with this Green Emperor. That green gas can make people unlucky and doomed. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and was sure in his heart that he should have been penetrated into the body by green gas. Otherwise, he could not be so unlucky, or 2 times in a row. This is too abnormal. If this is true, then the power of this Green Emperor is really quite scary. And it is absolutely untouchable. Really unknown dog. Mr. Yi, are you all right? He asked quickly. I'm fine, you continue to make yours. Continue cooking. Yi Tianxing smiled gently and said slowly. My mind has been secretly alert. He was not sure what the power of this green gas was. At the moment, outside the valley, www.novelhall.com, there is a huge military camp. This barracks appeared here from nothing, blending with the surrounding nature. No sense of contradiction. The building in this barracks is a huge tent. The tent looks very similar to a yurt. There are a large number of war horses, gathered together, and the number is very large. Each of them looks extremely strong. This is not an ordinary horse, but a real war horse. There was a fierce suffocation on his body. In the barracks, a famous soldier wearing a strange costume will travel around. There is a machete on the waist, and animal skin is worn on the body. The other side is also strange, very messy and wild. Each one looks rough. Bows and arrows are also carried around. Carrying a sword pot. One look is nomadic. These guys, dismounted are herders, and mounted are elite cavalry fighters. In the camp, it can be seen that a large number of ordinary people are and gathered together, and the number is quite large. These people are all relying on each other, their bodies shaking, their faces showing fear, and some people are crying softly. To be continued. Chapter 96. Zuo Shanwang. Phone reading. The group of captives can see that the clothes of the Han people are the skin color of the descendants of Yan and Huang. The number is very large. If you look closely, the number is not less than tens of thousands. As for men, middle-aged men, a soldier holds a whip, driving logging around and building camps. As long as the action is slightly slower, a whip will be beaten immediately. The flesh is blurred. A scream resounded in the camp. Those women and children were gathered together, and from time to time, women were forcibly taken away by soldiers and brought into a camp account. There were screams and wild laughter, gasps, and people could not help hearing it. A kind of fear comes from the bottom of my heart. A woman was pale and terrified. Give birth to despair. The unused 2-legged sheep died so quickly. Stay the corpse and eat it after cooking. There is not much food in the camp. The monsters outside are too powerful. These 2-legged sheep can also fill it. Be full. Quote. Some people were too tired during work, and fell to the ground with a whip, but those soldiers showed no sympathy at all, and some were just cold and indifferent. Even if dead, the body cannot be let go. These 2-legged sheep can be used as military food. Master Zuo Shenxian has orders to immediately investigate the surrounding situation and immediately look for a valley, that valley, with vast grasslands, rich grasses, huge rivers. That is our perfect pasture. It is our greatness to build us. The best location for the great Han Empire. Must find that valley. Find a way to go. Some commanders came out of the largest camp, shouting loudly. Rumble. Immediately, scouts rode out of the camp. Just scouts, there were hundreds, and they went in all directions. Many of these people may not be able to return at all, and will die on the road of outside exploration, but no one flinches. There was fanaticism in their eyes. They want to build the greatest Great Hun Empire. This world will definitely be their big Huns. In the camp, among a large number of women and children, a woman in plain clothes crouched down, dug out mud from the ground, and carefully wiped her face with her body, a dirty, terrible look, properly a crazy girl crawling out of the mud. It's just that both eyes are full of spirituality. Hide yourself carefully among a group of women and children. It doesn't look eye-catching. Under normal circumstances, those Hun soldiers did not think of her at all. She looked at the Hun scouts that were constantly rushing out of the camp, and her eyes seemed to flash a strange light. At the moment, in a big tent, everything in it is readily available. Like a huge mansion, can live and discuss, guests can be entertained. At this moment, in this tent, a man was wearing leather armor made of animal skin, a chest goggles, a feather helmet, a burly body, and an alien and Middle-earth mixed face on his face. Rude with fierceness. Under him, there was a woman who was struggling hard and whining. A simple bronze mirror appeared before him. Ancient bronze inscriptions are interwoven in the bronze ancient mirror, exuding mysterious colors. Moreover, although it is a bronze mirror, the surface is extremely smooth, and it will not be inferior to the glass mirror. There is also a simple rustic atmosphere, with a thick sense of years of precipitation. On the mirror surface, it is rippling like water. A strange picture appeared on the mirror. On the ancient mirror, a grassland emerged, with fertile grass and fertile soil, wild horses running wild, wolves chasing prey, and flying eagles soaring in the sky. A long river flows through the mountains and grasslands. Endless life is born, and at first glance, it is like the holy place in the heart, the most perfect reproduction place. In the mirror, a variety of lifelike scenes can clearly emerge, making people seem to be able to smell the fragrance of grass. This valley must be nearby. As long as you can find it, it will be the perfect breeding ground for my great Hun dynasty. It will be the place where the dragon rises. Here you can graze, here you can feed all your people. There is a vast grassland. Like a long river. As long as you give me a chance, Lu Bao will definitely build the greatest Huns. All Han people, yellow blood, are all weak and humble slaves. Lu Bao, I am the real Huns. Quote. Lu Bao looked at the picture shown in the ancient mirror, and his face showed a tinge of color. He is definitely the king of destiny. With this bronze ancient mirror falling from the sky, he can definitely rise in the shortest time. Establish the immortal Huns. Thoroughly enslaved the Han people, making the Huns the most distinguished race. When thinking of this, Lu Bao suddenly became pale. Hold your hand under the woman's head, and trembled. After a while, the woman was grabbed and placed on a desk case. The clothes on her body were instantly torn into pieces, and the body was pressed up and hit them crazy. Gasping, moaning echoed in the camp. These are not known to Yi Tianxing. Yangjiakyun has been ruined, and the fortifications have not continued to repair, but some soldiers who have recovered from their injuries are inspecting around, and the fire is burning everywhere. It was dark, but in the fire, the village still looked like daylight. Many people have begun roasting wolf meat, drinking broth, and talking to each other. They are talking about their expectations and longing for Xuanwang village they are going to, and thinking about what they can do in the future and become a monk. There were smiles on every face. That is the vision for the future. Longing for hope. Now, Lai He has started cooking. The first is to make wolf rib soup. This wolf bone is too hard. Even Lai He spent a lot of effort to get these bones fixed. The bones are too hard to cut, but Lai He has a way to deal with it. Drill holes in the root bones and point out small holes. These holes, when boiled, will be able to boil the bone marrow essence in the wolf bone a little bit. Bone marrow is the most delicious. These holes will not allow the bone marrow to completely penetrate out, but can allow the flavor of the seasoning and auxiliary materials to be easily incorporated into the bone marrow, making the bone marrow more delicious, more tender and delicious. At that time, just hold the bone and take a breath. For a moment, the bone marrow in a bone will be completely sucked out and enter the mouth. The taste must be beautiful. The wolf meat of this silver moon wolf is different from other wolf meat. The flesh was crystal clear, and it gave off a ray of crystal light. Each cell is extremely full, containing the huge blood and essence of the silver wolf. All in this flesh. Lai He's approach is to cut the wolf meat into pieces, each of which is rectangular, with a long index finger and a wide thumb. The size of each piece is exactly the same. With superb knives, make a small incision in the wolf meat, so that the soup and seasoning can perfectly penetrate into the meat. When Lai He is cooking, it is simply a wonderful enjoyment. A variety of cooking techniques, ingenious, especially the use of knives to the extreme. That cutting-edge knife can also make the taste of the ingredients to the fullest. It really makes people enjoy the highest enjoyment. Many people see a strong appetite when they see the cooking process. I don't know how many people are secretly swallowing saliva. The essence of Xiaoyu silver wolf is very powerful. When cooking, you can see different light flowing in the pot and changing. But it did not completely dissipate, but was locked in each wolf by unique cooking techniques. It looks like a dream. Time doesn't know how long it passed. Every meal has been served on a humble stone table. This stone table was made by Yi Tianxing. How can there be no normal tables and chairs for tasting food? Dao Yi's blessing, Yang can also taste these top foods this time. The light-emitting foods are strange foods that Yang has never eaten. Yang Yi and his 3 sons also sat at the stone table up, looking at the food covered by the iron cover in front of me. I couldn't help but look forward to it. When I saw Yi Tianxing eaten once, he also secretly swallowed a few mouthfuls. Master Lai's cooking is naturally extraordinary. www.novelhall.com. I am looking forward to wearing some delicious food cooked by the wolf meat of Xiaoyu Silver Wolf. Yang Yanping said with a smile. Brother Yi, let's get started, my belly is crying. Yang Yanping swallowed saliva constantly, and there was a cooing noise in his stomach. Okay, let's get started. Yi Tianxing is even more eager than them. The food cells in the body are beating madly, transmitting an infinite sense of hunger. Lai He smiled and lifted an iron cover. At the moment of unveiling, a soft light bloomed continuously. In that light, there seemed to be a round of silver moon changing up and down. Sure enough, the food really shines, and it can produce such a shocking vision. It is incredible. Yang Yanping looked at the silver moon and felt himself under the moonlight. Quiet and feminine, relaxed and happy. Mr. Yi, please taste this silver wolf marrow soup with General Yang and Little General. Lai He filled a bowl of broth with a spoon from the casserole. Yi Tianxing looked at the bone marrow soup in front of him and couldn't help exposing the strange light. This soup is crystal-like, with no variegated colors, and in the soup, a small silver moon emerges, rippling in the bowl, a complete bone, a few pieces of wolf meat in the bowl. It has artistic beauty. It's unbearable. Moreover, a scent of fragrance emerged naturally, entered the nose, and even the entire body and mind seemed to be washed by a strange, unconsciously became quiet, all distractions disappeared. There was only this bowl of clear soup. Take the spoon, scoop it, and put it in the mouth. Suddenly, a wonderful feeling appeared in the taste buds, and naturally spread out to the whole body. Book. Sikushu, Chapter 97, King Kong Elephant Gong. For subscription recommendation, close black lens bracket, good bite of clear soup, soothes the body and mind like moonlight. Let all the pores be opened, the appetite is wide, and the body and mind relaxed. Although it is a broth, it is not greasy. Yi Tianxing closed his eyes and felt that every pore in the body was opened, every 1 inch of flesh was jubilating, and naturally began to absorb the surrounding world's vitality again, and an illusory black tripod in the body was shaking slightly. The vigorous blood and blood are continuously integrated into the black tripod, so that the black tripod seems to begin to transform and condense towards the entity. The power in the body naturally increases. Moreover, the rate of increase is not slow. Then he picked up the bone, placed it next to his mouth, and opened his mouth against the tiny holes in the bone. Immediately, the bone marrow in the bone, just like the crystal jelly, fell directly down the hole and fell into the entrance. There was a cool breath in the juice of the marrow, which was a unique refreshing, cold like the moonlight, but there was a hint of warmth. At the entrance, the wonderful feeling is fleeting at the tip of the tongue, and the aftertaste is endless. A good bowl of bone marrow soup is really memorable. I have never eaten such a delicious broth. Master Lai's craftsmanship is truly awesome. Yang Yi and his 3 sons also showed an intoxicated look. This is a food they have never tasted, from the taste buds to the physical and mental enjoyment. It is a wonderful thing that can make people immersed in it and can't bear to wake up. Please eat the second gourmet braised pork. Wolf meat is as rough as dog meat, and it has a fishy smell. The silver wolf's meat does not have these shortcomings, but it is crystal clear as jade. Therefore, I cut the wolf meat into pieces, each thin as white paper, and put it into the pot. Medium, grilled with clear broth, and simmered into the broth of the bone marrow soup, so that the meat slices fully absorb the soup, so that the meat slices are rich in gravy, without the jerkiness of the barbecue, and there is an extra lubricity and fatness. Please taste. Quote. He introduced the next gourmet. Open the iron cover, a slice of crystal meat appeared in front of the eyes. These pieces don't look like braised pork at all, they seem to have a steamed flavor. Delicious, supreme cuisine. Every piece of cuisine is presented in succession, each one is a demonstration of He's top cooking skills, and each one is a gourmet dish that will shine. Eating is an ultimate enjoyment. Even if they were Yang Yi, they were completely immersed in it. Eating is the most instinct that human beings can't shake off. From birth, it has nothing to do with eating. After the ultimate gourmet enjoyment, the strength of Yi Tianxing's body is skyrocketing. In each breath, there is a huge amount of heaven and earth vitality integrated into the flesh and bones, which is filled in every inch of veins. The density of flesh and bones is in constantly compressing and superimposing. Become stronger. Can accommodate more power. Shi Ding is fully operating, constantly refining the essence of cuisine. On the three-legged binaural tripod, you can see not only piranhas, but also pheasants and birds. Crocodile, and the silver wolf howling. Alternate transformation, showing a touch of wonder. It's a huge amount of energy. The silver moon of Xiaoyu is cooked into food. The food contains the essence of flesh and blood in the silver wolf. This silver wolf had no less than the yellow rank of the 3rd grade. The essence of strength was in the flesh. Eat it is a great supplement for my physical body. In addition to the stimulation of the gourmet cells, the refinement of the food tripod. The physical body not only absorbs the vitality of the outside world, but also the power of the gourmet cells to grow on their own, and the blood from the silver wolf a huge amount of energy in it. Sure enough, eating fierce beasts can nourish the flesh. Quote. Yi Tianxing felt the huge essence from the food tripod, and a thought quickly appeared in his mind. This kind of eating is the essence of plundering the silver wolf of Xiaoyu directly. The benefits for the flesh are absolutely astonishing. That is to say, eating the flesh of other ferocious beasts can exchange huge essence from flesh and blood, and get the essence of the ferocious beast. Coupled with the refining of food tripods and the absorption of gourmet cells, this is a perfect way to grow the body. It's hot, Dad, I feel hot all over. There's hot air coming out of my stomach. It's messing around in the body. Yang Yanping screamed suddenly, a redness appeared on his face. These delicacies contain huge amounts of energy, just like ordinary people eat an old ginseng. This is a big tonic. Once the body can't bear it, it is inexhaustible. Hurry to practice martial arts and practice Yang's gun. Yang Yi also felt that there was a huge heat in his body. Based on his experience, he immediately knew that this was the extremely great essence contained in the cuisine. No less inferior to ginseng ganoderma, this is a big supplement. It must be refined as soon as possible in order to become its own benefits and benefits. Yang Yi and Yang Yanping did not hesitate to pick up their spears and practice Yang's marksmanship. The spear opens and closes like a dragon, like an iron horse. In the marksmanship, a strong smell of iron and blood is transmitted, making people feel like they are in an endless battlefield. Cross in the army. On them, you can see a stream of heat emerging from the body continuously, forming a layer of water mist, which is confused around. What? Yang Yanding was also hot. When walking to the open space, it was not the Yang family gun that was shot, but a set of stature and a weird movement. It seemed weird at first. The body fell backwards, exhibiting the posture of Tiban Chao, but it did not fall. The body was suspended in the air, and then a hand appeared above the head, and the body swayed back and forth. This process is very weird, and its difficulty is so great that even those who practice martial arts can hardly do it. But the energy in him began to be absorbed by the body in a strange way. Then, both legs fell to the ground at the same time. Just like an animal, it stands on the ground. The whole body exuded an extremely thick breath. There is an oppressive air machine in circulation. Has a wild atmosphere. In Yi Tianxing's eyes, however, he felt that Yang Yanding had become a terrible wild animal at this moment. Pieces of muscle are constantly flowing in the body, like shuttlecocks. There was a hint of golden light on the skin. It's not a physical method, it's a boxing method. It's a boxing method. It's a set of exercises. While experiencing the growing power in his body, Yi Tianxing was also watching carefully a set of weird boxing techniques exhibited by Yang Yanding. This boxing method is very strange, each style is very weird, and not only the appearance of the routine, in the body, there should be a supporting method of visual operation. So fast refining. At the beginning, Yang Yanding's complexion was as red as cooked crabs, but his complexion recovered rapidly with the practice of bodybuilding exercises. The speed of refining his energy was faster than Yang Yi's, many. Moreover, the essence of the body can absorb more than half of the refining, but Yang Yi has a large part of it, which is directly dissipated and wasted. They have no physical exercises and no qigong exercises. They can only practice Yang family. The use of a gun to passively absorb the essence of the body is very inefficient, and the benefit is minimal. Far worse than Yang Yanding. 5,000 pounds, actually added another 5,000 pounds of strength, physical strength, reaching 15,000 kilograms. The essence of Xiaoyu Silver Wolf's body is really amazing, this is 4 people sharing food. Otherwise, the benefits it should be bigger. Maybe it can increase tens of thousands of pounds at once and reach the state of Heiding Erming. Quote. When the body was completely calm, the black tripod became more condensed. Faintly emits a dark halo. The blood contained in heading is even greater. Da bu, really da bu. I feel that the body has become stronger. I have broken through and truly become a practitioner. There is also a black tripod in the body, and a black tripod. The strength reaches 8,000. Jin. Yang Yanding burst into a loud laugh, his eyes shining brightly. Then, the blood of a majestic body converged so naturally. The breath on his body became like ordinary people, and from the appearance he could not see the amazing power hidden in his physical body. It seems that eating fierce animal meat can really make up for itself. The red light on Yang Yi's face has also dissipated. The injuries received today and the lost blood and vitality all seem to be completely restored at this moment. www.novelhall.com. What the brothers of Yanding just practiced seems to be practicing body exercises. You are going to follow the path of body practitioners. Yi Tianxing looked at Yang Yanding with a smile and said slowly. Yang Yi's pupils condensed subconsciously and looked at Yi Tianxing. When he found that his eyes were always clear and there were no other emotions in it, he nodded and nodded. Before I got a copy of the exercises, King Konglong, Shangong, is a practice method for practitioners. Unfortunately, of the 3 of us, only Erlang has the talent for refining. As long as I and Delang practice, they feel like a knife cut and bones like acupuncture. The pain is unbearable. Can't continue, only Erlang cultivates, can withstand, and can punch. So he can only walk on the path of the practitioner. Quote. He doesn't know if the practice is precious, but think that Yi Tianxing and even practicing Qigong can be spread candidly throughout Xuanwang village. There should be no bad ideas about this practice. It shouldn't be too much of a fortune. So he said it generously. Of course, this is why he didn't know the value of bodybuilding exercises. Well, the practice of physical training requires special talents to practice, otherwise it will require a very strong will to endure the great pain in the recipient to continue. The practice of the practitioners is very difficult. The resources consumed are also huge. But the combat power it is second to none among the monks. In the same class, it is the strongest one. The Yanding brothers persist, and they will definitely become a peerless general who is invincible. Quote. Yi Tianxing heard it and nodded his head. Once the practitioners grow up, they are all powerful. Although I would like to see King Konglong Elephant Gong, with my own eyes, or even practice this practice, I have not spoken. He believes that this practice will sooner or later appear in his own hands. Chapter 98. Shanghai Realm 3rd. Please recommend a subscription. Close black lens bracket. Brother Yi, dare to ask what is the value of body exercises? Compared with Qigong exercises, Yang Yanping asked suddenly. The practice of refining is very rare. Although the threshold is not high, the practice is too painful. Even if it is suitable for refining, it still has to bear the pain of slicing. Not much can be sustained. But at the same level in the middle, it is the most powerful. Qigong exercises are numerous and suitable for all practitioners. As long as they work hard, they will eventually have the opportunity to become monks. The most is the difference between talents and achievements. Quote. Yi Tianxing said calmly, and expressed his understanding of cultivation. In his opinion, Yang Yi and even Yang Jiazhen will inevitably become their own generals as long as they enter Xuanwang village. These will be known sooner or later, and moreover, Yang Yanding is the material of peerless warriors. Such practitioners have a huge effect on the entire Xuanwang village. After joining Xuanwang village, you can go to choose the exercises in the army, Iron Blood Shaki, which is a practice method suitable for the generals. Of course, you can also choose other practice methods. The exercises suitable for soldiers are not in the minority. There are also top-notch exercises. However, they can no longer be obtained for free. You can accumulate merit, and then enter the Tibetan scripture hall for redemption. You can also exchange the classics of skill books that are not available in the Tibetan scripture hall. Evaluation of. Yi Tianxing smiled indifferently. In words, point out without any traces. In the Tibetan scripture pavilion, there is a practice method more suitable for soldiers and soldiers, which is stronger than iron blood. The foundation laid is stronger. This is enough to plant a seed in their hearts. In their capacity, if they had the opportunity, they would never want to practice the same exercises as ordinary soldiers. It is bound to choose more advanced techniques and skills. When Yang Yi heard them, a touch of contemplation appeared on their faces. He also secretly yearned for the Tibetan scripture hall. I have a different idea in my heart. After eating and drinking, the fatigue caused by a battle caused many people to start to fall asleep, cuddling by the fire, and leaning on each other to sleep like this. Successive changes, fear, sadness, excitement, expectations of the future, and so on. The change of various emotions has put their spirits in a state of extreme limits. Relax now. Naturally, sleep easily. In the village, only Yang Jiazhen was still taking turns to guard. Even if he had been bleeding and injured before, there is still no complaint, just doing what he should do silently. Yi Tianxing also sat directly in the open space and entered the practice. Yulong Tianjing is running, and the body is really flowing. Most of the gastronomy eaten today is absorbed by the flesh, but the tempering of the flesh is also of great benefit to the practice of qi. The tempering of the flesh, the growth of the meridians, and nature, the heaven and earth vitality that can be sustained even more amazing. Meridian channels have been widened. In internal vision, Yi Tianxing can clearly feel that the meridian channels in the body have undergone transformation, have been widened silently, and become more tenacious. This is the benefit of refining. Therefore, on the basis of many monks, they will also practice some techniques of refining. The blood in the body is strong, and the amount of true qi I have accumulated before is already quite large. There is still a whole night now, and I can completely start to impact the 8 classics. The breakthrough of the refining body can make this breakthrough process become it has no hidden dangers and will not affect its foundation. Quote. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly. For other monks, after completing the development of the 12 sects and reaching the second peak of the Shanhai realm, how can it take a period of time for the body to adapt to the growth of the qi in the body and be familiar with the shuttle motion of the qi in the meridians? A little bit of junqi, warm the flesh and bones around the meridian. Let the body be allowed to pass through the explosion without any hidden dangers. But these are not worth mentioning to him who has already become a cultivator. No matter how strong his energy, he can bear it. The first 8 classic veins Yang Weimai. Yang Weimai starts from the Golden Gate Foot Sun Sutra. Yang Jiao Foot Xiao Yang Jing Tongyu Hand Tai Yang Suspension Tianyi Hand Xiao Yang Jing Shoulder Well Foot Xiao Yang Jing Headway Foyang Ming Jing Primal God, Yang Bai, Head Weeping, Eye Window, Zhengying, Qingling, Brain, Fengqi Foot Xiao Yang Jing Fengfu, Dumen Du Might once through them, you can connect the meridian channels of the Foot Sun Meridian, Foot Xiaoyang Meridian, Hand Sun Meridian, and Hand Xiaoyang Meridian to form a river channel. Connecting the meridian channels. But it is more difficult to punch the pulses. Quote. What are the 8 strange meridians, that is, the 12 positive meridians that are originally irrelevant to each other, and are finally completely connected together? Melt into a complete meridian diagram. If we say that the 12 cannons are the existing meridian channels, they are just blocked by silt. Clearing the silt out will naturally open up. The 8 meridians are strange, as if they are directly in 2 unrelated river channels. In the middle, a new river channel was dug out. This process of forcible development is naturally much more difficult than before. There is no huge vitality, and it cannot be rushed. Imagine the pictures of the 4 seas ancestor dragons, the spirit of true dragons, impacting the Jinmen acupoint. Without hesitation, the royal dragon heavenly scriptures were operated, and under the control of the mind, the spirits of true dragons rushed forward and backward into the meridian channels of the Foot Sun Meridian, and came to the Jinmen point forcibly. In the process of this shock, there is a very strong sting. This is in the meridian channel, once again opened up a branch tributary. The body's true energy is continuously consumed, but at the same time it is consumed, there is a sense of vitality that quickly integrates into the body from the outside, replenishing and recovering its own consumption. Although it can't keep the same, it can guarantee the continuous strength. Time is quietly passing. In the sky, the bright moon hangs high, looming in the clouds from time to time. Outside the village, from time to time, there were screams and killings of fierce beasts and monsters, and the movement of fighting each other was endless. Beasts and monsters are also fighting. I don't know how long in the past, suddenly, sitting side by side, Yi Tianxing formed a whirlwind with no sign outside of him, and a burst of heaven and earth vitality quickly penetrated into the body, and the speed was twice as fast as before, more than. Yang Weimai has been completely developed and promoted to the 3rd place in the promotion of Shanghai. Sure enough, even the qi has to run faster, and the speed of absorbing heaven and earth has become faster. Yi Tianxing was secretly overjoyed. Finally, it took a full night to make the true dragon spirit in the body almost exhausted, and it was very difficult to open up the Yang Wei pulse. At this moment, we can see that a small meridian channel is derived from the foot sun meridian channel. The thickness of that channel is not as good as the 12 cannons, but as the heaven and earth vitality shuttles in the meridian a little bit, it naturally absorbs the heaven and earth vitality, growing and becoming tougher. The next step is the process of warming up. This newly cultivated meridian is thoroughly warmed up to be as broad and tough as the 12 cannons. This process is subtle, and you can also incorporate it with your own energy to quickly nurture. However, the process of raising the true temperature consumes a true dragon's breath, then it is really gone, and it will not be restored in the Shanghai, because that seed of true breath has been incorporated into nourishment. If there is an elixir that can warm the meridian, it will be able to make the new meridian grow and grow rapidly. But even then, there is nothing. I am a practitioner, and the huge blood in my body will nourish the new meridian by myself. Let meridian rapid growth and transformation, far beyond ordinary monks. Quote. Yi Tianxing opened his eyes and looked at the rising sun in the east. He worked his exercises and sucked into the void. It seemed that a ray of purple air was sucked into the sky from the sky. This is Ziqi from the east. As soon as this purple gas entered the body, it immediately penetrated into the new meridian. Let the newly born meridian river be thick and wide for a big moment. Coming from the east, Ziqi represents endless vitality. It can actually absorb the purple gas coming from the east. It was not absorbed before. Is it not enough to repair, but why I can absorb it now is because of a breakthrough in the realm. There was a hint of surprise in Yi Tianxing's eyebrows. Yu reading book www.ukakanshu.com. He had also tried to absorb purple gas from the east before, but he could not feel it at all and could not absorb it. Now inadvertently sucked, but absorbed a ray. It also allows the newborn Yang Weimai to grow at a glance, saving a lot of time and energy. Let the process of warming the meridians complete most of them at once. This is an unexpected joy, and we need to try again tomorrow to see if it can provoke purple gas. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly. It's dawn, get up quickly, make a fire and cook, take out the wolf meat leftover from last night, and eat well. You'll be leaving here later. Yeah, I'm going to Xuanwang village soon. I don't know what it will be like. Is it really like Mr. Yi described? I don't know how far Xuanwang village is from here. Is there any danger along the way? A common man awakened, and immediately made a meal with Molly's fire. In a blink of an eye, it was a spectacle. Mr. Yi, the villagers have begun to cook, everything in the village has been prepared, and the corpses of the soldiers were all converged and buried. Anytime you want to leave, you can. However, the migration route is safe. Obviously, Yang Yi got up early and handled all the things in the village properly. Some of the used items have been collected by some means, and they can be taken away together after a while other debris can be discarded. If it cannot be discarded, naturally the people in the village will take it away. The number of people is extremely large, and it is naturally easy to bring something. When I came here yesterday, a path was opened directly from the jungle. It should not be deserted in just one night. It is not difficult to shuttle through it. There may be some dangers along the way, but Yang Jiazhen and my guard should not what's going to happen. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. Chapter 99, Phoenix. Please ask for some, do you have any? It is because considering the problem of migration, before that, Yi Tianxing chose not to hesitate to directly cut from the jungle, cut thorns, cut vines, split trees, and forcibly make the jungle without a road. An unobstructed trail. You can go straight, and after crossing, you will reach Xuanwang village. Avoid most of the hassle. Now is the time to come in handy. That's good. Yang Yi was secretly relieved. Migration has never been a joke. If it is not good, it will cause heavy casualties, especially in such a situation where it is not known how many beasts are hidden. Not much to say. Yang Jiajin also started to make fire. The meat of those giant wolves also contained rich nutrition and energy. Each piece is a tonic. If you eat it, it will not only fill you up, but also make your body stronger. One night, although taking a round tour, they still let their spirits return to their peak. The iron blood on their bodies became more intense. Many people have things hidden in their hearts, and they are looking forward to going to Xuanwang village, dazed. When you start eating, you can solve it with the fastest speed. Packed up quickly. Yang Jiajin has assembled. The people in the village also took their own items and picked some important things to bring with them. At the forefront is Yi Tianxing. Set off. Without saying anything, he spit out 2 words, waved his hand, and led the way in front of him, walking towards the jungle that he passed yesterday. The villagers saw and followed them quickly, with longing in their eyes. Everyone's pace is accompanied by a situation. For the future life, I had imagined many times in the dream last night. Now we are heading for a path of hope. For a time, the entire team spread forward like a long dragon. The generals in Yang's army are also scattered, walking on both sides of the team, looking after them to avoid some accidents, and guarding against possible dangers around them. Behind the line, followed by a vicious dog with green hair on one leg. Amazingly, the emperor. The iron chain on its mouth was long gone. Why are you giving me bones today? The wolf bones are too hard. Was it for me to grind my teeth? I want to eat meat. I want to eat wolf meat. I'm Green Emperor, Dog Emperor, how can I eat bones? Quote. As such a distinguished person, I must give meat. There is also the surname Yi, I will not let you go, and even tie up the mouth of the emperor. You can do such a cruel thing, the emperor and you are not finished. A bone wants to be Ben, the emperor has sent it. Is the emperor so good at sending it? Impossible. Quote. There is a wolf bone in the mouth of the Green Emperor. It is not an ordinary wolf bone. It is the bone of the silver moon wolf. This bone also contains abundant energy. He was still holding on. It's fun. 2 eyes were looking around, looking at the surroundings. Seems to be thinking. Around the Green Emperor, no one dared to stay, walk at the end, or even walk forward steadily, with fear on his face, covering his ears, and a pale face, wishing to be far from the Green Emperor. The words of the Green Emperor are so intrusive. Unbearable. Many people see Green Emperor with white faces. I'm afraid to avoid it. In just one night, it was already fierce. There really is a road, this is completely cut with a knife. Forcibly drive a road out of the forest. You can reach Xuanwang village along this road. I don't know how long this road is. Seeing this road, many people are secretly relieved, which means that what Yi Tianxing said is not false. There is an existing road to minimize the danger of crossing the jungle. Follow the team, don't leave behind. Once scattered and lost, it is difficult to find it again. When Yi Tianxing set foot on the forest path, he also said. General Yang Jiajin quickly passed this sentence on. Night is the most active time for beasts, especially in the jungle. One night's killing makes the jungle in the morning still fascinated with blood, as if most beasts have fallen asleep. Began to go down. The jungle is large and the trail passes through only a small part, on the edge. No one spoke while walking through. Or secretly vigilant, the pace is as fast as possible. But still, some people began to die. They died under the poisonous snakes that suddenly emerged, died in the bite of poisonous mosquitoes, and died unconsciously while walking. There were weird vines that suddenly swept up, rolled up people, and pulled deep into the forest. Even the General Yang Jiajin, who was on guard all around, could not respond. As soon as I pulled in, it disappeared and I couldn't find it. Some people saw that the flowers were very bright and beautiful. I couldn't help but love to pick them up. The pollen fell on the body. The whole body turned into a pool of blood and penetrated into the soil. Into flower fertilizer. These sudden changes, even if Yi Tianxing had no time to shoot. These attacks were almost instantaneous, and they were already dead when there was no time for rescue. These successive dangers also haunted everyone's hearts. No one spoke, but they tried to move forward as best they could. This road finally came to an end under the hurried pace of a group of people. A wide view of the exit can be seen in front. Out. Yi Tianxing stepped out of the jungle one step, and the field of vision in front of him can be sure that they have passed through this jungle. Great, we finally came out and walked through the jungle. This jungle is too scary. I saw Lao Jiao being inexplicably pulled into the ground by a tree root. It's a terrible jungle. This is still the road opened by the village head. If there is no such road, I am afraid that there will be more dead people, and there is no way to tell the direction. Look, there is a village in front. Is that Xuanwang village? A tall wooden wall with thorns climbing on it. Curious village. The people came out of the jungle path one after another, came to the open space, looked around, breathed the fresh air, and could not help but really relax one by one. Then they found Xuanwang village not far away and looked at the whole huge wooden walls, neatly built houses in the village. The excitement of expectation appeared in his eyes. There is a world difference between Yangjia village and the previous one. The gap can be seen at a glance. The defense of Yangjia village is a fence, but here is a wooden wall like the city wall. Stronger defense and more security. This is Xuanwang village. Yang Yi also stood beside Yi Tianxing and looked at the village in shock. He hasn't seen the village. He has seen it even in the capital city of Song dynasty before, but the world is different. In such a short period of time, it can be done to build the village to such a degree. It is very difficult for him to know. He has also been the village head. A wall can be built to such an extent. Moreover, the thorns and vines outside this wooden wall are all over the wall. These vines are the best adhesive and the best defense layer. They can stabilize the wooden wall and will never be inferior to the wall made of earth and stone. This alone is too rare. Enough to withstand the impact of most fierce beasts. Like the wolves in the past, they can't stop the wooden wall. You can shoot on the wall. Such heavy casualties will never happen. General Yang. Yi Tianxing smiled and started to speak, but just said a few words. Suddenly, a clear tweet echoed in the void. In that voice, there was a king-like demeanor, and a very noble breath naturally escaped. That kind of nobility is born. As soon as this cry appeared, the sound of birdsong in the early morning could not help but go completely silent. No noise appeared. What is that? Yi Tianxing looked up at the sky, and suddenly, he saw that in the distance, a colorful light began to flash, and the speed was very amazing, coming from a distance, soaring in the void. In Chaoyang, it looks so gorgeous. Colorful wings, www.novelhall.com, this is the god bird phoenix. Yang Yi has already exclaimed. His eyes were full of shock. There are bird falcons, which are shaped like chickens, 5-colored poems, stag heads, fish tails, dragon-text turtle backs, and swallow-tailed chicken beaks. They are really phoenixes. God's beast, the king of birds. Quote. Yi Tianxing murmured to himself, looking at the void, full of horror. It was indeed a phoenix, the nobleness of the phoenix's tweet, the colorful feathers on its body, emitting 5-colored light, and other characteristics of the body were exactly the same as those recorded in ancient books without any difference. This legendary beast suddenly appeared in front of me. The senses were subversive and the impact on the soul was too great. Many people couldn't help but bow down on the spot. Phoenix, divine bird, Swiss beast. Regardless of your identity, you can worship it. The phoenix came from the sky with colorful lights and thousands of spirits. In a blink of an eye, he came over the valley, and suddenly glanced down, as if tired, and fell towards the valley. They can only see Yi Tianxing, a colorful light falling from the sky into the valley, but not near Xuanwang village, but directly in the deep valley, farther than the previous Yangjia village. In the heart of the real valley. But a moment later, the phoenix flew up again and flew away. From the discovery of the phoenix to the eventual disappearance of the phoenix from sight, it was only a moment or so, but the shock it brought was unimaginable. I don't know how many people have opened their mouths, full of shock. Phoenix, the legendary ***** bird phoenix. In the Hun camp, Zuo Xian King Lu Bao came out of the camp, saw the picture of the phoenix turning empty, and saw the phoenix falling into an area. His eyes suddenly became fiery. Chapter 100. Plot. 100 chapters, please subscribe for recommendations. There are 2 tickets. Close black lens bracket. King Zuo Xian, this is a good sign, it is Shangrui. An old man came over and said, looking at him, wearing clothing made of animal skin, wearing all kinds of weird accessories, those accessories, the teeth of the beast, it is made of hard bones on the beast, each with a wild style, and a bone cane in his hand, which is obviously very old, with strange totems carved on it. At first glance, just like an ancient wizard, one could involuntarily develop the idea of respect and estrangement. Shaman, how come you are old? Lu Bao saw the old man coming, and his face showed respect. This is the shaman, which has a pivotal position in the tribe. This is the spiritual symbol of the people in the tribe, in charge of sacrifice, mysterious witchcraft, medicine and so on. It is even said that the shaman can predict the future and give pointers to the tribe. Therefore, among the nomads, the shaman's status is very high. This shaman is called Uma. Phoenix is empty, how can I still sit on such a big event? Shaman lifted his eyes and looked at the direction where the colorful light disappeared. Zuo Shanwang, Phoenix is not a land without treasure. On the contrary, the place where the phoenix falls is sure. There are treasures. There must be extremely precious treasures in the place where the phoenix just fell. As long as it can be obtained, it must be of great help to Zuo Shanwang to build the great Han Empire. Quote, this world is so wonderful. Even the ***** bird and phoenix have appeared. Maybe we can become immortals as ancestors. As long as we persist in cultivation, we may not be able to achieve longevity. Lu Bao flashed his eyes and looked at the phoenix. The position of landing showed a strong desire to possess. He stretched out his hand and grasped forcefully into the void, saying, no matter what treasure it is, I must be Lu Bao. There was haggard on his face, a fierce light flashing. Like a tiger and a leopard. King Zuo Xian, you have great luck. As long as you don't die, you can definitely make a big cause. However, this world is too dangerous and you must promote your cultivation faster. This is a world that can be cultivated. Shaman's eyes, there was a flash of glory in it. In a troubled world, a violent and savvy person like Lu Bao can survive and start a career. Shaman, rest assured that my exercises can be practiced with women of the Han nationality. These days, they have been advancing by leaps and bounds a day. They have reached the second level of Shanghai. As long as a continuous woman is used as a furnace, I can use the most faster and stronger. I want more women. Lu Bao showed his embarrassment. Come, take 2 more women to my camp account. Lu Bao waved and walked back towards the camp account. Several soldiers soon came to the area where the women and children were located and arrested the 2 young women directly. Drag and leave. No, I don't want to die. Let me go. Who will save me, save my life? The 2 women immediately cried pale and cried for help, eyes full of fear and despair. They had seen what happened to the woman who had been taken away. All the women who had been taken into that camp had been corpses when they came out, and they were all cold corpses. There is not even a trace of flesh and blood, it looks like it is a layer of decaying skin covering a bone. The kind of picture appears again and again. Everyone knows that if you go in, it must be dead. And it's the same way of death. In that case, it was the same as the legendary monster who sucked away all the human spirit. Entering is death, and it must be extremely miserable. Which woman is not afraid, has despair in her life, and wants to commit suicide, but after all, she still has the idea in case that someone can come to save them. What if it's not my turn? Can live, no one wants to die easily. This is human instinct for business. But now, this kind of accidental thinking has become the most terrible ending. Pulled out, there is no chance of suicide. Not long after, the 2 women were taken into the camp, and then from inside there was a scream and a sharp gasp. Many women outside were even despairing and their bodies were shaking. Even if I die, I will leave innocently. A girl dressed as a boudoir, among many women and children, suddenly stood up, gave a loud drink, and slammed into a sharp stone. A flash of blood flashed, his head was smashed, the blood flowed, and his body began to freeze, falling directly to the ground. Her blood is so brilliant and gorgeous. She is dead, and has a strong temperament to make her own way of death. This fierce approach also shocked a group of women and children. Suicide. Well, wash it, cook it, and serve as a ration. 2-legged sheep will be eaten when they die. A soldier sneered, dragging the woman's body away. Many people are trembling, and the color of fear has penetrated into the bone marrow. The young man was whipped by the soldiers and worked hard. All I saw was a young man, dressed plainly, and his clothes were worn out by the whip. But his strong physique gave him a strong temperament. This is a temperament inherent to many Chinese people. Hardworking, just to be able to live and eat. In his eyes, he saw the light of unwillingness to be humiliated and waiting to die. Looking at the surroundings, though refined, he didn't pay much attention to their soldiers. The young man moved the stone while quietly approaching another man who looked very lean. The Xiongnu soldiers didn't care about these captured Yan and Huang people. Although they waved their whip, they beat people to the ground from time to time and gave out proud laughs, but they were not too alert. From the point of view of these Hungarian soldiers, these people are nothing more than a herd of sheep. Now it is to give them value, wait until there is no value, then slaughter and eat them as military food. How could a flock of sheep resist the lion and wolf pack? Not many guarded soldiers. No one in this barracks thought that these slaves could do anything serious. These Central Plains are just a group of little lambs. Moreover, most Huns did not understand Chinese. There was no communication at all. Disdainful of conversation. Guang, we now fall into the hands of aliens and live to be abused every day. We are like slaves every day. We eat less than dogs every day. In this way, we will die sooner or later. After death, these aliens will be used as military food. Our current situation, no matter how you look at it, is death. It's better to flee. It's better to be fleeing. It's better to die in the barracks and die in the military camp. There is a word of death on the left and right. The young man went to the other capable man and whispered. Their voices were very low, and, without intentionally approaching, the Huns did not understand and did not care. Victory, do you have plans? There are too many Hun soldiers and war horses. If they are launched, they will soon be overtaken, and it will be difficult for us to escape. The capable man also whispered. I thought about it. We have a lot of people in the Central Plains, and there are also strong men who have been soldiers. There are also many good guys from the 3 mountains and the 5 sacred mountains. As long as everyone discusses it, they will start together. The Xiongnu can't find us. By then, everyone will come together to make a career, said the young man Shen Shang. Then we secretly contacted other heroes. I know that some people still have a few packs of perspiration. At that time, they will find a way to pour into the food and water of the Huns. Even if they are not fascinated, they must be lethargic. Our opportunity is here. Quote. Guang, you come to contact other guys, I'll observe the terrain. Victory, don't worry, I already know that many people are very dissatisfied with their current situation. The two talked in a low voice, and did not last long. They naturally separated. It seems that there has not been any communication before. Even the nearby Huns didn't find it, and even if they saw it, they didn't care. They are secretive, seems to be just an ordinary greeting. But these fell under the bright eyes of the women and children. A tattered and messy dress, very inconspicuous in women and children, www.novelhall.com, the eyes are very bright, quietly watching the surrounding scene. The situation where the two men whispered to each other, instantly fell into the eyes. Look at her look, some shocked, some excited, some looking forward. However, the brilliance in the eyes disappeared and became more inconspicuous. Hidden in the crowd. Well, here is Xuanwang village established by Yimao. I believe that now the village has prepared hot soup for everyone to clean the wind. Yi Tianxing closed his eyes from the place where Phoenix left, facing Yang at his side. Yi said with a smile to the people around him. We just moved here, and there is Phoenix Shangkong, which is a sign of auspiciousness. Yang Yanping flashed a smile in his eyes and said quickly. Yep. This sentence made Yang Yi nod his head for a while and agreed with him. In the hearts of the ancients, Shangrui's status was very important, not to mention that it was false and had people believe, let alone Shangrui who appeared directly in front of him. Looking at Yi Tianxing, he groaned secretly in his heart. Does this Yi Tianxing really have a lot of luck in it? It will accomplish a great cause. The phoenix flew into the sky and descended into the valley. Could there really be a destiny? Thinking in his heart, the glance towards Shang Tianxing suddenly became a little different. In the vagueness, there was a touch of respect. This happened very coincidentally. Not only him, but even the people around him looked at Yi Tianxing. Why did Phoenix not appear early and late? They appeared when they arrived at Xuanwang village. This should not be considered by the people secretly. It is difficult to think less. Squeak. Just then, the village gate opened. Wang Dahu already rushed over with a team of soldiers. Although he was walking on the ground, the speed made Yang Yi and Yang Yanping look shocked.